So I want to start off today with a question, and that question is, could you or do you think that your relationships could be successful if your significant other hated the music you listen to and vice versa?
It depends on your definition of successful.
Okay. All right.
Like,
And hate too.
yeah. Yeah.
So, like,
so
hate,
there's
like,
no toleration
turn
whatsoever.
that shit off.
Okay.
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
absolutely not.
It's crazy. And my wife and I don't have the exact same musical taste.
No way.
But like we both love some stuff of each other's. But and then there's a some of it that we prefer not to listen to, and then there's some of it that we tolerate. Like, well, I don't mind if it's on, she doesn't mind if it's on, but it's not her bag.
Right. And I think that's the middle ground is, you have a playlist of songs that you enjoy and she enjoys.
Yes.
You know, and listen, it's just like everything else in the world. It's a Venn diagram, right?
Yes.
And in that middle, there's probably some pretty good bangers.
Yeah.
Y'all can get down with. She probably doesn't want to hear the Turkish drill music every night.
Yes, not every night.
And I don't know what what Laura would listen to that I
stuff that makes you want to drag razor blades across your wrist. But like she'll say
Olivia Rodrigo.
And it's like I like Florence, right? I don't even know that. I don't know. Get that.
I think my children might have.
I
Shown
know
me
that's
that.
why I said it, because I know you got young kids listen to her, and she's like,
apparently
like that emo kind of.
So Billie Eilish.
Yes,
it's probably in that
vein, yeah.
That vein.
So like she'll she'll listen to like Florence, and I like Florence too, but I don't like all the Florence. You know what I mean? I like a good handful of Florence records.
Yeah. I was just really I was really hoping they go back do like an old Death Row collab with Florence and like have the Dog Pound and Snoop Dogg and Nate Dogg and the Dog Days Are Over remix. I mean, I think it could be a banger.
It could be. She's done some she did a Drake cover, and I can't tell you what song it was off the top of my head, but I know she did like a Drake cover and sang the rap to it.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta hear it.
Yeah, and she can sing her ass off. She's got an album called Lungs, and she's right.
Okay.
But I don't want to hear that. But and my wife's same way. She'll sometimes she'll be like, look, all right, playlist, whatever you want. I don't care. Just try to keep the body count low. Mm-hmm. Just the murders low is all she. But which is fine, and I can accommodate. But I think that what I usually do is I keep a running playlist at times called rotations, and I dump songs into that are like current and that either I thought she would like, I found out that she does like, and that I like, and then I dump them at the end of the year into a playlist called 2021, and next year 2022, obviously, and so on and so forth. So usually our go-to right now is to listen to 2020's playlist, because it's just she doesn't love all the shit on there, and I don't love all the shit on there, but there's
a skip button for a reason, right?
Yeah, and we can get through it all, no problem.
Yeah.
There's nothing there's nothing that we have to skip unless the mood is such a bummer. Sometimes we'll be in a real there's this artist Amy Shark, that she's I know.
You know,
I know.
Okay.
And she's good. She's kind of folky, kind of alternative-y, but she's a fucking bummer. There's nothing's going right in this bitch's life since day one.
So
it
it's
seems
more like Amy Shark, boo 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 boo.
Man, I was trying to figure out how to work that in. I was trying,
but while we both enjoy her music, it might not be right for the vibe. Go ahead and skip it. And then sometimes it'll be some shit that comes up like this Brooklyn drill artist that I love. This guy Bankroll Boona. He's got this song called "Watch How You Step," and the very first bar is, "She tried to throw me the pussy. I told her this dick ain't for free. She gotta book me." And I'm like,
I didn't drink my
coffee. As soon as I hear the because the beat is as soon as watch your step, it's very instantly recognizable, and I'm always scrambling for the phone, and I usually just drop the volume down for the, and I'm like, and then I turn it back up and continue.
That's not aggressive at all.
Yeah. Anyway, a little bit. It's just something I've been thinking about, because I think that I think my wife and I, if we wanted to vote for different people, it wouldn't be a problem. If we wanted to watch it, if we had completely opposite taste in movies, wouldn't be a problem. But I think the music thing would be a fucking problem.
Music is such a big part of our lives.
It is. It is. I mean, I listen to a very diverse genres of music. I mean, I don't know how much old country you have on your playlist, Bobby.
0.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not true because I like 4 or 5 country songs, and they're all usually old country. Like I like Jolene, I like The Gambler, I like Lady, I like stuff like that. But it doesndon't pop up on a 2020 playlist.
You got some Islands in the Stream on there.
Yeah, I got Islands in the Stream on there. I like that song, and
Crossing
I like
Streams.
I'll tell you another. No, I don't cross the streams too much, but I like Alan Jackson's like Red on a Rose. I like that record
Really?
a lot. Like
That's surprising to me.
Yeah, and I love you like all little children love pennies. And I'm like, dude, I did love pennies, man.
I saw Alan Jackson's Houseboat one time.
Oh, yeah.
It looks just like his house.
No shit.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Yeah.
The random things that I've run across in my life.
Yeah. I'll tell you the most random shit that I came across recently going through Instagram was it said Mexican magician. And I was like, well, that's awfully specific.
Catches my attention.
He did he's like a David Copperfield type or a David Blaine, I guess, more. And he did some stunt where he disappeared, never reappeared,
nice.
like there. And he went uno, dos, and then disappeared without a trace. Evan,
I should have saw that setup coming. I don't know why. I couldn't get it. I just.
All right, so. Joe couldn't make it today. He let me know way ahead of time that he was going to have a fucked up August
It's the
month.
crazy times for Joe.
And he was supposed to be here today, and then he couldn't make it.
He's on assignment.
And then I was like, well, fuck. And then he hit me with the, I already told you. It makes me feel like Joker in Dark Knight when he's like, you and Rachel. So we have Evan who was gracious enough to come on an emergency, and Pinkerton is with us as well. This is episode 314 of Nerd Rage. Evan, why don't you start us off? How was your nerd week? Even though you were late as fuck, you can still get the privilege.
Yeah,
black privilege, really, in many ways.
In honor of Black History Month, which is every month. No, my nerd week was great. My nerd couple months have been great. Catch up on some media. I think Titans they've started a new season of that, so I'm catching up on that.
I heard it's good.
It's actually pretty.
I've heard season 3 is really good.
Season 3 is actually a lot better than the previous 2 seasons.
Could you pick up season 3? I haven't seen the rest of it.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you need to be fully invested. Somebody died here. They fought this bad guy there, but you can pretty much pick it up and just go. It's its own story.
Shout out to Todd R. He said, watch a YouTube recap of season 2 and then just.
That's perfect. Yes, I agree with that 100%. Yeah. You're not missing anything. What else did I do? It's just been busy. I'm reorganizing my basement, and I told Bobby that I sold all my detolfs.
Yeah,
those things went fast too. Dude.
Well, because IKEA stock has been trashed. Yeah. So like now is the time to sell a detolf.
So I want to hear the story. So you sold them like Facebook Marketplace or something?
Yeah, like there's a group like I can't remember what it is. It's a DMV group.
So
yeah. I posted it, and that's the only place I posted it. And literally, I got no less than a dozen messages over the course of a couple hours. And
wow.
The guy came the next day, picked him up. He actually picked him up for another guy. So they know each other. And he was like, well, I'll take 4 for myself, and my buddy wants 1. Matter of fact, I'll just take all of them and got him out. He made 3 trips.
Wow.
His car, he didn't bring, a huge car, but he made 3 trips, and he was a cool guy. I wish I could remember his name. I'd give him a shout out, but sold all those. So I'm going with a new IKEA cabinet. It's called like a Rudesta, Swedish something.
What's it look like?
Looks like a Rudesta.
Okay.
Imagine in your head with a Rudesta.
Yeah.
Well, I knew they changed the Rudesta in 2015, so I just wanted to make sure you had the up to date.
The modern Rudesta.
Shout out to
the Modesta.
Mario Montez. That's the guy that picked him up. I sent Bobby a picture of it. I'll show you what it looks like. But I'm trying to switch it up a little bit.
He got some new shit too recently, so
really?
I wonder. Yeah.
I don't know the name of nothing. Can't be first, no nothing. Can I bother?
What did you?
Can't be first or nothing. So I've got 2 of those. I've got the lower wide one.
Yeah, I was looking at those.
Actually, we have 2 of those sitting in our front door. They're empty because we haven't decided what to put them in. Then I've got 2 of those, and then one of the low ones in my new space that I'm constantly working. And then my wife's got 2. They come in like a seafoam green color.
Yeah.
And she collects this kind of obscure Sanrio character called Zashikabuda. It's a pig.
Familiar.
No, you're not. No. And she's got all her stuff like in our bedroom set up in those, and it looks great. But
yeah, I like those. I
say it's a detox killer. I don't know if it is or not.
And they're lighter and easier to move. And I text Bobby as soon as I was like, I'll see how it looks, and maybe I'll regret it, maybe I won't, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm organizing now. And
I got familiar with a Japanese thing yesterday. I think that we may have all. Possibly may have all got familiar with it.
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Janya Tashi, watch up on my wrist. Did you hear that song, Junya?
Yes, I was listening to it on the way.
So that's a designer. I didn't. I completely misunderstood what he was saying.
Junior.
I thought he was saying Junior, but I thought he was saying it like you don't know, like do you not see what's up on my wrist? Oh. But like it's what I thought he was saying, but it's actually some like high tier.
I gotta re-listen to this now.
Super.
It's too complicated.
Super.
I don't need them damn Easter eggs in my music. There's enough on TV.
It's some designer, some Japanese designer.
So I was listening to the album, the Donda album.
So we all have listened to it at least in part.
Yeah, I didn't finish it. My favorite line so far is Hova and Jesus, just like Moses and Jesus. No, that's awful. Don't do that.
Hey, everybody hurts, but I don't judge Reynolds.
Explain their relationship. What do Moses and Jesus have to do with each other?
What about some people say that Adam couldn't be black because a black man would never share a rib?
Oh, wow. I didn't hear that one.
I feel like this. Okay, I'll give my thoughts on it later. But my nerd week anyway.
Yeah.
Changing up my display collection. I'm about to get my basement redone.
Did you finish that little shed walkway thing?
Yeah,
you finished
that looked great.
Thank you. The backyard's done.
Damn talented, man. You're so talented, bro.
Oh man, I know. I can write the hell out of a check. So my signature's great.
Don't worry if I pave bricks. I write checks.
IKEA, I need to shout them out because I swear they sponsored half my house because I just bought a new case. I can't remember the name of it, but I put all my liquor in it and it looks great. Damn, what else I do? Obviously we waiting for Shang-Chi and the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer came out. Pay attention to all that.
We're gonna talk about that for sure today.
But as far as like new shit with me, it's been good. My kids got a Nintendo Switch, which means I got a Nintendo Switch, which means they don't have a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
It worked the opposite way in my house.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I got a Nintendo Switch, and then they got a Nintendo Switch, and now I don't have a Nintendo Switch.
It was. I knew what I was doing when I bought that shit. And
I bought a PS5, but that's my PS5.
See, yeah, it better be. Here's a move I played though. My father-in-law was like, "What do the kids want for their birthday?" They just celebrated a birthday earlier this month. I was like, well, they just got a new Nintendo Switch, and I just forwarded him a bunch of games that I kind of wanted to play. I was like, they would like this and that, See, he bought a couple games, and yoink.
Did you get Mario Kart?
No, that's the next one.
That's the banger right there.
I know. I didn't want to reach too far.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's something I'm gonna buy and look like the hero, and like, Daddy bought us Mario Kart.
Yeah.
But other than that, nothing really. Just working a hell of a lot and just getting ready for this vacation.
Are you working overtime?
Here and there. Not.
Oh, so you're just working regular?
Well,
or are you doing side?
I'm doing some overtime here and there, but I don't pick up as much as other people.
Yeah,
I don't live and die by overtime.
No, me neither. I don't work it at all anymore. Flex.
Yeah.
But pick it down about yours.
Oh, how the turntables have
turned.
Turned.
What was that from?
The American Office.
Oh yeah, dude. The American Office is really good, man.
I care for it a large amount.
It's about as good as it is long.
I need to mention this because I don't know if it's in the notes, but NBC has greenlit a reboot of The Office.
I was going to say something about that. Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing.
I'm of two minds.
Yeah,
it's not a good idea.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing.
Well, there's a lot of the B characters that
you would like to see.
Well, that like Kevin Malone,
of course.
world famous chili. By the way, did you know I was told this. I did not confirm it, but he was one of the top earners on Cameo last year.
Really?
Kevin. The guy that plays Kevin and Meredith and Creed.
That's weird.
You know, a lot of those people they don't do anything.
That's so weird.
I'll tell you, the show is so long, Chris. There's so many characters.
So
I have
many.
a hard time keeping track.
It's
of them
a
all.
lot. Do you know? Do you even know who Nelly is?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Band-Aid.
okay. Huh? Yeah. If you want to go and take a ride with me. Yeah. Yeah.
I like. There's one of the things about the British officer that puts it over the edge a bit. Is it's very short and concise.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin's the one that has a haircut like the guy we saw yesterday morning.
Oh, dude. So here, let's talk about that for a minute. Sometimes when I make a joke at somebody's expense, I don't factor in the reaction of people around me that makes the joke worse.
Okay. Oh boy.
So there's a gentleman that we know, and he's got his hairline starts. It starts right about here, right about mid at the top of his head. And it's like a straight line across. Like it's not like a widow's peak. It's like the shit just slowly, inched its way back.
His family's cursed.
It was probably very confusing to him because like he was using soap at different proportions throughout his
Right.
life.
Yeah.
But like, so like he was talking about if he died or something that was like, and I was like oh then the doctor had to tell your wife like we weren't able to save him, but we did save what was left of his hairline and just
Oh my gosh.
And then Evan, his other dude Waller, is super cool, was like hanging out and like lost it. And I was like, oh fuck, now it seems way worse. And then he was walking back to his car, and I should have just let him have it because he was like, I'm not bold enough to rock a hairstyle like yours, right? And I should have just let him have his return joke.
Yeah.
And I couldn't. I was no, you're bold enough to rock a hairstyle like yours. And then they laughed again.
Did it look like the Peacemaker's helmet a little bit?
Yes.
Had that trim?
Yes.
The trim
That's
across the
about
top?
where it starts.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you
It's a symbol of freedom, Bobby. I'm not
well, he's as free as they come now.
Okay, gotcha.
Bald eagle, you might say.
Oh wow.
The first day I met him, he tried to get a joke off on me. And I was like, what are you into? And he was like, well, I'm like really into history. And I was like, oh, that's why you got a haircut like Julius Caesar. And so it's been like a reoccurring theme.
I got you. Was he trying to comb it forward to save it at one point?
He will comb it forward at sometimes, but it's like curly, like around the. It's like
so
almost
weird.
like he's wearing like the leaf thing around.
He looks like a clown without the makeup. It's just like
yeah. It's a very bizarre do or do not. You know what I'm saying?
He's like such a nice guy though. So
and he is a nice guy. He is a nice guy. So he's just not nice to his aesthetics. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So continue, Chris.
Not everybody can be a winner. I've been working on my space some, Bobby. I saw Bobby at my house this weekend.
Space. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming back.
Bringing it back. I'll tell you, I can't go into too much about what you helped me with, but I was absolutely amazed at. I needed your laser services.
Sure.
And I was amazed at how. I always imagined that it was this machine that could make very exact cuts and cut through something, and you could have a pretty exact shape. I was amazed at how fine it could cut.
Yeah,
like little itty bitty teeny weeny lines.
What is this machine?
Though I have a
Chinese red and black laser. That's what it's called.
Exactly right. I
thought that was gonna be leading in or something.
No. That's what it said.
You were gonna say like nothing. Never mind.
They ran out of energy when it came to branding.
Okay, Chinese red and black laser.
Yeah, it's an 80-watt laser with I think 20 by 24 bed. That's on top of the 2 CNC routers, 4 3D printers, sublimation print.
The diorama
Bro,
stuff.
do you not know who I am?
You know what? As soon as I said that, I was like, that's my dumbass.
I make live, laugh, loathe signs. That's what we do.
Freedom isn't free.
Yeah. I make a Colston. I'm just thinking of horrible children's name. A script that you can hang on the wall.
God bless America. Dude, make me one that says Pod bless America. You know what I'm saying?
That's fine. And instead of I'll put your face on the American flag. What color do you want the stripes to be?
I guess it's got to be black and white.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I just didn't know.
Keep with the aesthetic.
So, outside of MySpace, shout out to Tom.
Yeah,
he that dude cashed out and got out
for sure.
Good for
He's
him.
not an idiot.
He's not. You totally threw me off of that. That was good.
Came to your house.
Yeah, Bobby came over and to cut out some stuff with the laser and knocked it out pretty quick. And using that material works great for that. You know, easy breezy.
Yeah, and I doubted that. Like, when
Did you really?
Yeah, just off of instinct. When you were like, I'm going to use foam. In my head, I was like, there's no way the foam is going to be able to handle a cut that small and precise. And in my head, just my gut reaction, and nope, wrong as fuck.
I had to tool it around a little bit, but we got there.
Yeah.
So we were going to, we had a bunch of art we had put up, and we were going to hang up some more, Bobby, but I just couldn't get in the right frame of mind.
I know what you mean.
Oh, man, the right frame of mind. That's a good one, right? When Dante was here a couple weeks ago, he had talked about a documentary he watched on Netflix, Bobby's 7th favorite streaming
Malice
show.
at the
Malice
Palace?
at the Palace, and I watched it.
Damn, I just heard about that.
So,
How was it?
So I'll just tell you a little bit. I had probably taken a break from watching pro basketball around that time. Through the Jordan years, even the Jordan Washington years, I was a huge NBA fan. Watched a game or two a week with SportsCenter every morning. Playoff time came. That's all I did is I watched playoff basketball, and I'd kind of fallen out of it over the years. But I had known this had happened, obviously. I mean, even someone that wasn't even paying attention to sports at the time, I think, would know that this had happened.
Yeah. Actually, I had no clue.
Are you serious?
Yeah, until Dante brought it up. Really? I was like,
that was a huge deal.
I don't doubt it. I think I would know about it today because it would probably be in my Instagram feed. But like,
it would be.
Yeah, at the time, like that shit would never hit my radar.
What hood is this?
What year was it? Yeah.
You guys know crime faces.
What year was this?
Oh gosh, 2006, 7, somewhere in there. Does that sound about right?
Yeah,
it's somewhere in that pocket. So it was an interesting approach to it because the NBA basically made a snap judgment that this is what's going to happen. These people are going to get suspended. And David Stern, who's basically the guy who created the modern NBA, right? He was a commissioner. Before he came on, the NBA was literally a coke addicts. That's all it was. A traveling coke circus.
Look at God.
I know, right? So obviously, bringing the Magic Bird era cleaned it up some, and then the Jordan era, it was off to the races. Then Jordan Barkley and the crew there. So they showed this from every angle. They showed everything. Like Ben Wallace threw a headband in the crowd. They threw something back, and it was just. Ron Artest, who has a lot of mental health problems and readily admits it, he said, my therapist told me a situation like that because there was a scuffle on the just get out of the way. Well, what did he do? He lays down on the scorer's table. Somebody throws a beer cup, lands on him. He runs up, hits the wrong guy, and it breaks down from there. But I mean, people came on the court. They came on the court. Like Ron Artest cold cocked this dude because he comes on the court with his hands up. What the fuck you got? Any of us would have punched that guy, right? Jermaine O'Neal they tell his story a little bit. He was.
Well, I may have punched him before listening to Donda. Now I'm a changed man.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough.
Jesus Lord.
Look at God.
Fair enough.
Ron, Meta World Peace. I have to go back and
process it.
Yeah, process that. I'm like,
and they talk about that, and they would have won the championship that year. There's no doubt in my mind. They were so good.
Damn.
That team was stacked. I mean, they lost the year before. The Pistons beat them in the Eastern Conference Finals because Ron Artest lost his temper, and they got some stupid foul or some ticky-tack bullshit at the end. They lost.
Let me ask you a question as a non-sports fan, because
this is the orange ball with the hoop. I think your daughter played that sport. It's that sport. With the hoop, and the jumping and the dribble, the bouncing.
Sometimes it can be chain instead of hoop, like a
sure. In extreme situations, yes.
So let me ask you a question as a non-sports fan, and perhaps speaking for a large demographic of our audience. If you're not interested in sports, but like fights and chaos and kind of sociological things of how people operate in extreme circumstances, will I enjoy this?
You would, yeah. And it's not long at all. I think it may be an hour 20. It's not long at all.
Okay.
It's very concise. It gives you the backstory of pretty much all the players involved.
Fair enough.
I mean, Some have said that they the whole thing was like the NBA dress code came out because of this. Are you familiar with a gentleman named Allen Iverson?
Oh, I love him.
Loves his headbands.
I love
his sweatpants, and he doesn't like practice, Bobby.
I know it's funny.
Practice?
Practice.
We're talking about practice.
We're talking about practice.
I know it's funny. It's funny to me too. That's my favorite line in that shit. When the fucking journalists start laughing, I know it's funny. It's funny to me too.
So I'm just using Allen Iverson as an example in this because he was. Would it be fair to say he was somewhat the face of the NBA at that time?
Yeah, absolutely.
He would he'd come up he'd show up at the arena dressed like. I mean, he was in a Nelly video.
My
maybe.
man was getting his hair braided courtside.
Yeah. I mean, and he had I don't know how many headbands could one man wear, but
because it was like almost like an X. Like
he did. Yeah. So
you gotta but that's why I think that's why you love him, right? Like it's because of that energy,
right?
You know, like,
but overnight it was nope. You got to wear a suit,
right?
But I mean, I think the guys have adapted well.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know about LeBron and them shorts with the
briefcase.
The briefcase, yeah. Anyways, it was really good. I recommend that to anybody, whether you're a sports fan or not. It was an interesting time in the NBA, and the repercussions lasted. I mean, Ron Metta World Peace, as he's now known, he won a title with the Lakers, and they showed like at the end, he kind of broke down. They were interviewing him. He kind of broke down like, this should have been the guys in Indiana. I fucked everybody over. This should have been their championship. I'm winning one, and I don't deserve it. It's kind of. I was like, man, to be that humble in that situation was.
I would not do the same thing.
Yeah, I can't say I would either. I watched. I know how much you love our actor who plays Wolverine.
Hugh Jackman.
Huge Jackman.
Yeah.
I watched a huge Jackman movie. I watched Reminiscent.
How was it? I passed on it last night. I was going to watch it, and I was like, nah.
It was not good. I mean, it's kind of taken a little while for it to sink in. But then Kelly was yesterday. We watched it Saturday night, I think, and Kelly said that movie just wasn't good. It was a good concept, but there was a lot of layers to it. I'll break it down without ruining anything. It's sometime in the future. There's been floods, like they're in Miami, I think, and let's just say that there's a 100-story building. Well, it looks like 35 up to the 35th floor, say, is flooded. Mm-hmm. But they're still living in these buildings, and I'm really confused about that. But so there's a lot of flooding, and then they call them the land barons. They've basically taken all the dry land.
Okay.
Well, my thought is there's more dry land if you just drive.
Just keep going.
Just why are you here? And there's been a war that they don't really explain who was fighting or what. So like
was it like the Tomorrow War?
May have been, or maybe the day after tomorrow, or Friday after next war.
My bike punk.
Yeah. In this time of chaos, nostalgia has become more important than anything. And they've got a brain wave. They put you in a tank with a cap with doodads on it.
Is that the life that we're living now?
I think so.
It seems it.
I think so. So his job is to talk these people into the memories. And it can't be anything that they don't know, because when that happens, they kind of spaz out. But it's like we're going on a journey to a place you've been with people you've been with.
Yeah.
And they say, what do you want to do? Like there was a guy who all he wanted to do was play with his dog.
I get it.
Just things like that.
Simple shit.
It's an interesting concept. And there's a twist. I won't say. It seems very convoluted until you know what the twist is, and you're like, well, now it kind of makes more sense. But it's almost too late for me to care.
It's hard to enjoy without knowing the twist.
Yeah.
So is the movie more about the I guess the world situation, or is it more about the memory, the reminiscence?
So it's more about the memory thing.
Okay.
It's a love story at the end. It's really what it is. It's a tragic love story, to be quite honest.
Those are the best kind.
Yeah.
Can be.
Yeah. Sometimes you just stop a story in the middle if it's going to be too sad at the end.
Yeah.
But I'll never get those 2 hours back. I stumbled into this is on YouTube, a documentary about the Hard Rock Park. You guys ever heard of this?
No.
So this is the Hard Rock Cafe Hotel chain.
Yeah.
There was a theme park built there in, where was it? Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
I'm familiar with Myrtle Beach.
Yep. It was open for 7 months.
I missed it.
Success.
under 2 different names. So
Maybe
it was just a complete disaster.
Hard
I mean,
rock
just
and the rock hard.
7. Well, they so it was
not the hard rock.
it had themes like there was a British invasion park and Born in the USA park and different themes like that, and it was poorly advertised, and like they even showed like the video of the ribbon cutting ceremony, and the guy that was the financial guy seemed so uninterested in what he was doing. I don't know. It's just interesting to see how they spent $400 million on that. It was open a total of 7 months, and now
It's a theme park.
yeah, it was. Now it's just sitting there rotting away.
Wow.
Like
In Myrtle Beach.
mm-hmm.
I'm surprised I never.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to look it up because I spent a lot of my summer years there.
I think it was like 2008, 2007,
Wow.
something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was I like watching these videos of people walking through abandoned places, like
Yeah, they're
mental
great.
hospitals and shit. Well, they did one of that, and he's like, "Don't forget I have a video explaining." I'm like, "Oh," but walking around in this place, they found it was attached to an old shopping mall, and they used part of the mall as part of the infrastructure for things. They found an office with all the original blueprints. They found the contracts for like Sister Hazel to come play.
Wow.
It was $100,000 for Sister Hazel to play, and was it 21 Pilots? It was some band that's pretty popular now that nobody had heard. That they were only getting $50,000, but
Wow.
it was just crazy. They found the license. So Gibson Guitars sponsored it. They had the big Gibson guitar.
It's interesting.
And then the whole contract's laying out, the sponsorship and all, just in fucking filing cabinets in this abandoned fucking place.
I'll tell you what. That's to your point. That's on kind of one of my bucket lists is to maybe explore an abandoned amusement park, hospital, something like that, with a bunch of other people who, most of which I'm faster than. But
Sure. Well, listen, I know you're faster
with
than
me.
me. You're faster
Safe
than
with
me.
me.
So I'd love to do that too. I've actually looked up like abandoned places in Maryland.
I would love to do something like that because obviously we see that set up for a lot of horror movies and shit like that. But I just feel like with the right group of people, it'd be pretty cool to do.
So
Yeah.
I went through that one that was in like the West Friendship area. That was it's burned down now. And I don't think this was the first time that it burned down, but I think it's burned all the way down now. But it was like a tuberculosis ward. I went there. I took a ton of pictures, and it was fucking fascinating. Like, so yeah, I'm up for that shit.
Yeah, I would do it.
Yeah, I am too.
We can do it.
And Phil will film it. So
Yeah, I'm up for that.
We need one. We need what? At
One
least
sa-
5 people
and one
and
sacrificial lamb.
one more black guy.
Okay,
we'll be good.
Yeah.
we good to go.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I just want to head from Bets a little bit on this
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
No, that's fair. That's very fair. But yeah,
History
I'd
taught
love
me
to do
anything.
something. I would definitely love to do that. So I know we're gonna talk about the Spider-Man trailer, but I watched the trailer. I really liked it. And Mason had kind of been on my ass about this, so I started playing the Spider-Man PS4 game on my PS5.
That game's fucking great.
Holy shit!
I love it. Have you not played it
great.
before?
I had played it a little bit, but at the time, like the motion, I couldn't deal with it. And
That game's great.
I started playing the VR some. We have a VR, and like that made it where like, oh, I don't throw up running up staircase anymore.
Really?
So now I can I played. I didn't realize how bad Cyberpunk was until I played that Spider-Man game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the graphics,
Is
the enemies,
amazing
like
game.
yeah,
It's the closest.
great.
It's the closest thing to the Arkham series.
And you know what? It's funny because one of the last times I was on Nerd Rage, I said I was replaying the Arkham series,
Uh-huh.
and Spider-Man is what got me to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went back and played all the Arkham games after playing
I
Spider-Man.
might do that
and then
'cause,
did
yeah.
Spider-Man again.
Yeah, that
So
shit's great.
So I've got
All the suits
The
and all
game
the.
is-
Yep.
it's a button masher for sure. Like when you're fighting, you
Yeah.
know, and my hands are shit. So like, all right, I'm gonna jump on this rooftop for a minute, catch my breath before I.
And it's challenging.
I'm
Like,
at the
those
prison.
fights
I'm
are
at the prison break.
challenging.
Yeah.
So the prisoners are fucking everywhere, and like you go to where they are. There's like how many? There's 100 of these dudes.
And there's a bunch of those ones that were like at like the construction sites,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and
Yep.
having to like sneak around.
Yeah.
And, like that shit was fun, man.
Yeah. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. Mason's got the Miles game too, so
I wonder how that is.
I need to get that.
he enjoyed it a lot.
Is it in the
It's-
same ballpark?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's very short though.
shorter.
It's a short game.
Well, he's shorter.
Well, sure.
Yeah, sure. This is true.
But I will tell you, so Mason has a PS4 and I'm playing some PS5, and he was sitting there watching me, and there's a load screen, and it was like 10 seconds. He's like, holy shit, that takes like a minute on PS4. Because I guess he probably has like a first gen
Wow.
PS4.
Oh, gotcha.
I thought that was pretty crazy.
Gotcha. Making your kids earn it, huh?
Yeah, well, you know,
in more ways than one.
I heard this week, Bobby, and I thought of you. If you're in a situation like a professional situation where you can't say fuck around and find out, I have an HR approved.
Okay.
Test that assumption at your earliest convenience.
So you know what's funny?
I like that.
It was great. I saw that on TikTok or something.
Brutus, to bring him up, God bless the dead, was a scrappy dude. Like, he was big, strong, and like a technical fighter. And he used to have this like string of phrases that he would say that if you knew Brutus, you would just take a seat. Like, okay, here we go. Here we go. And one of those things was that would go against your better judgment.
I like that.
Yeah. Was like,
I need to make a list now.
yeah. And his other one was that I remember just on top of it. There was 3 of them. I can't remember the third one. The other one was that wouldn't be in your best interest.
Yeah.
And like when you heard him say that, it was like, oh God.
That's one that I've heard before. And that's like when you know the mood's about to change.
Yeah.
Like, to quote Taz. But
there you go.
The mood is about to change. But I love that. Fuck around and find out is one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Like,
Feel free to test that assumption at your earliest
I'm going to have
convenience.
to, especially at work.
I remember.
There you go.
I remember one time he was sitting on the steps of this like party, and this dude was trying to get past him, and he's like, "Move," and Bruce went like this. Just started like moving his shoulders like in a gyrating man, like he was dancing to the music that was on, you know. And it was like, and then as soon as that dude had a minute to realize like the dynamics of the situation, like you could tell he was like, he just go somewhere else. Really, it's not that bad. I don't need to get upstairs that bad.
It's not that
Use
bad.
other entrances.
And Bruce just locked eyes with the dude, just started moving his shoulders around like in a little dance. Just had a super serious face on. One of a kind.
Oh my goodness.
And real quick, he was like he had a code of honor about him. It was one of the things I missed. Like he would fuck you up, but the moment that you said I'm done, or mercy, or uncle, or any type of like I give up, I quit, enough, that was it. That was it. The fight was over.
I respect the hell out of that because that is missing nowadays. I've seen enough fight videos where they're beating somebody and they're like unconscious and they're just getting and I hate saying that. I hate saying that.
Yeah, and he would, and like people would be like, you know, like the onlookers would be like, you know, finish him, and he would say like he's finished. Yeah, like he'd point to him and be like, he's finished. And then if it went beyond that, he'd be like, but I'm up for more.
Oh, there you go.
You know, like if you know what I mean, like he was just that way. I love that about him.
Went to we have several outlet malls that are close by. We went to a large outdoor one yesterday. Took the whole family, balled out in Adidas.
Yeah, flex on these peasants, please.
And I think my wife balled out in the Superdry store. But they don't. You know what size I wear at Superdry?
What's that?
A 3X.
Yeah.
Mason wears a 3X in Superdry. It's tiny, tiny stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably wear like a small in Superdry, right?
Probably would.
Yeah.
I'd make sure I wear a small.
That's
extra medium.
Test that assumption at your earliest. So we go to the outlet mall, and as you know, bags are heavy. So one time I take my bags and I put them up and get mean mugged from like all these people that are waiting for a parking space. I'm just like, sorry, I'm not leaving yet. Well, we finally do get done, and we go out to the car. And my wife's got a big SUV. Granted, I was in the middle of my parking space though. On one side is an F-1050 work truck with fucking the moose antler mirrors. Just all up on top. Like it's trying to mate with the damn Infiniti, right? I'm like, what the fuck? It's like rubbing up against it, going. Go around the other side. There's a I don't know, Ford Expedition or something. And Bobby, the first thing I see, the windows rolled down, and right next to the mirror, you know what I see?
What's that?
Feet. This dude had his foot up against there, and he had the window halfway down. And like I'm getting in the driver's seat, and he's right beside me. I look over. My man's on the phone on like a FaceTime call, and is picking his feet in the seat, barefoot.
Nah, man.
And it's like 85 degrees. I'm like, what is your life?
Hot feet fuzz.
I got in the car and I just went, oh. Well, I don't know if I knew he heard me. I just thought that was funny.
Hit him with the pusher. Ugh.
It was no good.
Well, there was something. I remember one time I was at work. It was like a F-350 and F-500,000 sitting, and then my little Civic was between them. And somebody said something like, "Look at that little punk ass Civic sitting in it. And I was like, yeah, man, that's just painfully obvious whose dick's big in this bitch. Ain't it?
Right, exactly. Had to get in between it.
Call that bitch Black Lightning, man. My little Civic. They sing legends of its stories on 70.
There you go. Wrestling, fucking great. Another great week of
I was
wrestling.
going to ask you about that. I was going to specifically.
Man, I'll tell you. People probably noticed I've started talking about wrestling on here. I didn't just start. I watch wrestling religiously for, I don't know, 10 years now. Like,
it's more content now than
it is. And the reason I'm talking about it is because it's good again. It got really bad for a long time because there was only one company really doing anything.
Right.
And they could do what they wanted, and it didn't matter.
Right.
But now you've got 2 major promotions plus a lot of smaller I ordered an NWA, not that NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance.
I was like, go on.
Yes.
I ordered their 73rd anniversary show last night.
The other day?
Yeah, it was last night.
Was that last night?
Mm-hmm. Yep, so Nick Aldis had been the NWA champion for over 1,000 days. Years, Bobby, years. And he got beat by Trevor Murdoch.
What?
Yeah, they've had a whole angle going.
Okay, Trevor Murdoch must have come up in the world because, obviously, if you only know him from
his WWE days, he's been grinding this whole time.
Good for him.
That's Daredevil's father.
Yeah.
He came back.
Ric Flair was on there, so he's no longer under WWE.
Well, he started the woos, I believe.
He did, not your woos. You're not allowed to do that. Please don't appropriate Ric Flair.
Dude, I got mad ops in my house, mad imaginary ops.
I know.
Dude, I'd be dropping their symbols all the time, man. Depending on what record's on. I switch gangs depending on what record's on. I drop all sorts
Code
of
switch all day.
My God. Oh man. Anyways, yes, it's just been great again. AEW. I love that company. I love that what the product they're putting out. But I still enjoy the WWE. That's the thing. It's like, hey, Bobby, I'm in some Facebook wrestling groups.
No.
Can only imagine.
No.
And it's people are so salty, like, well, that's not better than. I don't care. I don't need it to be better than WWE. I enjoy it, and I also enjoy WWE.
That's a good point.
I just enjoy all of it. All
something doesn't need to be better than something else for you to thoroughly enjoy it.
Correct.
Rising tides raise all ships. That's my thought on it.
My box wine is not better than perhaps the $100 bottle, but I don't need it to be in order to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But you all gonna be drunk when you're done.
Yes,
you get to the same point.
And it might take me half a box, but it's okay. They got more boxes.
There you go.
I gotta get 4 or 5 of them bitches just to match your bottle. That 4 or 5 boxes definitely going to do it. It's like Meet the Parents when he's like, do you have any nice champagne? Well, we got this $10 bottle of Mums. Oh, I was hoping for like a $100 bottle. Buy 10 bottles of Mums.
There you go. It all works out. And then watch What If.
Oh, that's what I left that out, but yeah, go ahead.
I watched that too.
We'll get into it.
What are your thoughts on that?
I liked it probably. I might have liked it the best.
Really? I like it better than the second one, not as much as the first one still. It still seems a little like, it doesn't seem as tight to me as the first one.
Which one?
The one with Carter as Captain Carter is my favorite of the 3 episodes so far.
Are there only 3 episodes?
Yeah, there's that. There's the Black Panther as the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Best episode.
I disagree.
I have to disagree with you as well.
Yeah.
And it's from a storytelling standpoint because in those other 2 episodes are like this one little thing happened and that changed everything.
And then
The Loki one. Right?
Yeah, that's the latest one.
Yeah,
I did like that one. I think I like that one probably the best, only because of he murked all the Avengers. Like that.
Yeah, but I feel like when it turned out to be him, I was kind of like, oh. I mean,
his reasoning was kind of hollow, however, but it's just cool to see somebody being able to actually use their power, like in that way, like
unchained.
Yeah,
yeah.
like,
Okay, I'll back that.
The only thing is like, how did that arrow kill Thor? That was my only thing in the whole thing.
That bothered me a bit. But did it turn him into a man? Like when he was depowered, or didn't have to?
Into a man?
Well,
turn him into a man, not a god, a man,
not a number.
Well, maybe that's true since he hadn't grabbed the hammer yet.
That's what I was thinking. He's Donald Blake at that point.
Right.
That's a circumstance where you could not let God.
Yeah.
They let God have it.
Yeah.
And I think that was it for my nerd week that I could think of. Oh, I tried to read that Superman book and I just cannot get into it for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's you're welcome to bring it back. It's
thanks.
What I mean is that like you don't feel obligated to finish it.
I know. Obviously, that's just how our relationship is.
But like, it's not.
And this is what's it called again? Emperor
Joker.
I haven't even gotten to the Joker yet.
Yeah. So the thing about the book is that it's not it's not that it's a great story. It's not. It's just that once you get to the Joker, Joker gets all the powers of Mr. Mixuplix.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay. So once you get to that, it's just funny. It's just like it's just like a shit show.
I might try to read a little bit more of it, see if I can get a vibe.
Or if you care, like it's important to know the like the backstory bit to like care about the story.
Right.
But if you don't care about the story and you just want the circus, just scroll through the pages until you find
the Joker. That's fair enough. It's like, where's Waldo?
Yeah. So here's what happened my week. I had a couple interesting things happen. My kids being back in school has become the most interesting thing in my life. Specifically for Jaina, because she's like in 7th grade, and like now kids are fucking people. You know what I mean? Like they're not talking about their favorite color anymore. They're being shitty to one another. They're talking shit. They're, you know what I mean? She's got to navigate social issues, and it's just fascinating to me. So there's this boy that she walks to school with. Her and one other girl.
How far of a walk did they? I don't even know where they're.
It's about a mile.
Look out!
Yeah, and I'm proud of her for doing it. I don't act proud.
Right.
You know,
it doesn't count until they're doing it in the snow.
Uphill.
The snow doesn't make them walk.
Uphill both ways.
But,
that out.
But I would make her do that, but my wife wouldn't. And I'd make her walk in the rain, like you know what I mean. Like I had to when I had to walk.
Yell at her on the way.
Yeah. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that because I would definitely go to jail. But like so. At any rate, she walks with this group of friends. One is a female and one is a male. The male
by birth.
Yes, that's important to say. The male is definitely into her.
Okay.
He's telling her about all the fights he's been in, and he's been victorious. Yes, he's a real fucking menace on these streets. He's what else has he done? He has a crush on somebody. You can't say who.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know.
How that goes.
Was curious if there was a way to contact her in any way, phone number or whatever. And so recently they're walking home from school, and he says, "Do you know what this is?" And he crosses his middle and ring fingers and spreads out his index and pinky finger.
Oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one that taught myself how to do that without touching my hand.
Yeah.
And she says, "No, what is that?" He said, "It's a gang sign for the West Side." And Jaina said,
"Got a badass over here."
So Jaina said, "Oh, okay." So then Jaina said, "Do you know what this is?" And she was like, "What?" And she was like, "Gangster Disciples. Do you know what this is?" "What?" "The Woos." "Do you know what this is?" "What?" "The Crips." "Do you know what this is?" "What?" "The Bloods." "Do you know what this is?" "What?" "The Cho." "You know what this is?" "What?" "The Brims." "Do you know what?" And she's like going through all of them. She said he didn't say a fucking word to her like the rest of the walk. Like it completely backfired. Like his like
punk card.
Wow.
Card. I love it.
So she was like, it came in handy, which was funny. Now, another thing that's interesting about her is that like she went to school with these group of friends that she's like, and it reminds me of myself because I do it too. But she calls them the Fab Four. It's her and these three other girls, and two of them don't even go to her school anymore. There's only one that goes to this school now. But she's like, these are my best friends, right? And I'm like, you know, and I've tested it because they're not. You know, they're not. Objectively, they're not. And I've tested it a bit, you know, just been like, man, you talk to this girl a lot. You know, she'd be like, yeah. And I'm like, but she's not one of your best friends? Well, she's not. No, she's not in the Fab Four. But, well, do you talk to the girls in the Fab Four? I haven't talked to this one in a while. And I'm like, do you think the girls are into the Fab Four as much as you're into the Fab? You know, like just getting her to start questioning. And she's also loyal. Like she's like, these are my friends. Like these are my girls that I came up. Like she's that way. Anyway, I say all that to say this. This one girl is kind of being shitty to her. Like
one of the Fab Four,
the one that goes to her school, and like she's like talking to her some days and not talking to her some days, and you know, like not like ignoring her, but like some days she's like obviously being more friendly than other days. So my wife actually called it. Shout out to her, but we were sitting there at the table, and she was like, "What days this week did you feel like she was giving you the cold shoulder?" And she was like, "Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday." And my wife said, "Okay, I just want to break something down for you. Monday, you went to school in a skirt, a shirt, and nice shoes. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you went to school in hooping shorts and a big T-shirt. and Thursday you went to, and Friday you went to school in nice jeans and a shirt. And this girl obviously cares about her aesthetics, her look. She shops at different places. She was like, this is how people are. Mm-hmm. You know, and we ended up having this whole conversation about, like, I was like, look, it doesn't stop there.
That's interesting.
Like, we do it. Like, you don't go to a job interview and dress just any kind of way. And if I am out and about, and I don't mean like at Bed Bath and Beyond, but I mean like if I'm somewhere.
You talk about that place a lot.
I think
they're going out of business, right?
They're gone, I think.
Are you okay?
Yeah, no.
You do know those towels aren't really all folded. They have like a little humpy thing. I'm serious.
Don't ruin the illusion for them. I know.
I'm blowing the gimmick. Yeah, I'm blowing the gimmick.
So ironically, I'm not really that into that store, but
you just like the alliteration.
I always say it because there's this episode of Sopranos where Tony is like ranting about America, and he's like, every town's the fucking same, fucking Target, Popeyes, Bed Bath, and whatever. I always say it's like my go-to. So anyway, but if I'm going out and I see like somebody at like a restaurant or like, at like a like a club environment or a bar environment, and they're not put together in any kind of way, that doesn't mean like in a suit, but they're just not put together, then I make a judgment on that person. I could be 100% wrong.
Man, how do you do these Transformer conventions, Bobby, and talk to people?
Man, I'm telling you.
So like, it's the right tool for the right job. Right?
You're right on that.
So like, at any rate, like it's that sort of thing, right? And we just shared, whatever, and she was, it was like you could tell she was processing it. But you could also tell that, like, and I said to her, I was like, you would do the same thing. I was like, what anime do you hate? And she said, whatever the fuck, some Chiki Bayoko. And I was like, okay, well, let's say that you met a person tomorrow at school that new to your school and they got a Chiki Bayoko shirt on. And then and then you could see it in her face. She was like, fuck.
Oof, the ghetto.
Like, I do it too, And I was like, we all do it. So it was just interesting, and so she's doing an experiment this week of testing it.
That's funny.
With like what she's wearing and how this girl responds to her.
Wow.
That's interesting. How old is she?
12.
That's about the age.
Yeah.
My daughter's 13, and all she wants to wear is hoodies. Like that's it.
Yeah.
All the time.
Keep it up.
So now my other kid, on the other hand, Selena, thinks I'm a complete idiot, and I got to see it in real time this week. So she had this surgery, right, to get all these teeth taken out of her head, and she got extra teeth.
I do too. That's why.
Really?
Yeah, I had surgery to get a bunch of them removed too.
Oh, well, so you guys are parking your cars in the same garage, and there's many cars in there. So she says, I had to pick her up to take her to this appointment, right? So I said, look, I just a reminder, I'm going to be picking you up from school early. I got to take you to the dentist, and she was like, she was like, okay, no problem. But, it's not a dentist. And I was like, yeah, the tooth guy.
It's not a dentist.
I said, the tooth guy. And she looked at me and said, like, and just this look of, like, judgment and, like, and she said, he's an oral surgeon. And I was like, right, I got you. And I just let it go. But I could tell that she was like, you're a fucking moron. But it's whatever. I let it ride. So what if we already did? Shout out to Nerd Rage. We actually charted this week on
congratulations.
Yeah, the top entertainment news shows. We top 100.
I love it.
We made 87th place. So top 88, not 88. You know what I'm saying?
Right? Exactly.
So what we'll say is, only thing we can figure is it's driven by reviews.
Yeah, because we've gotten a lot of new
give
ones
us a 5-star review if
yeah,
you have a couple
appreciate
accounts and want to,
And somebody said recently that they have a hard time hearing Joe. That they gave us a 5-star review and they said they have a hard time hearing Joe. Joe is not the Joe. So part of the problem is the equipment, and that it's not the state of the art equipment. And I'm working into that. Been looking at some of the stuff that you send along with some other stuff. Some of it is also that Joe is a soft-spoken person in general. So but I'm on it. It's a tricky thing for me because I don't want to be obnoxious to people. Because you want the ambiance of the show and the vibe of the show to not be interrupted, right?
Right.
So I don't want to constantly be like, hey man, you gotta put it here so that people can actually, you know what I mean? I don't want to constantly do that, and I don't want to be like, hey, when you scream, if you could scream back here, just because then it fucks the vibe of the show up. But I am conscious of it. And Joe, for whatever reason, as comfortable as he is with some other things, he is not comfortable putting his mouth close to that mic. And oddly enough, my wife isn't either. And another, you know what I mean? She's a go-getter in another department. So I don't.
Well, I mean, part of it is I know I've done plenty of talking into a microphone in my life, and so have you.
Right.
That may have something to do with it too.
Yeah, it could be.
So it may just be.
So I just wanted to let you know
Phallic.
that it is noticed. I appreciate your feedback, and I am working on it. And then the last one is Donda. Or Donda. I always say Donda.
It's like you're trying to do a Wakandan accent.
Donda.
It was a good listen.
We do not do that here. It's Dondas.
So you have listened to about half, you said?
Yeah, give or take.
And how far are you into it, Evan?
I'm checking right now. Yeah, I'm on like song. Oh shit! I'm on a.
Oh, you're on the last song.
Yeah, I'm on the last song.
So that last song is my favorite on there.
The other 11-minute song.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
We already had one Jesus Lord 11-minute song.
Well, that was 8 minutes and 30 seconds, I think.
If I wanted to read the Bible, I would do it.
But so what are your takes? Let me hear, because I've talked about this album. I listened to it twice yesterday with my wife, and then did a podcast about it, and then talked to Jisk about it this morning, and listened to more of it this morning. So it's time for somebody else to talk about it.
Okay. Kanye's working through some shit.
Yeah.
There's no doubt on this album he's working through some shit. I think obviously losing his mother fucking destroyed him, and he's been processing that for a long time. I think this.
How long has it been?
It's been a while.
It's been
like
10
10 years.
10 years, right?
And you know he's responsible for it. I think that's why it kills him so
Really?
much. Like
I thought it was a plastic surgery mishap.
which he paid for.
Well, he didn't make her.
Well, he was
No,
a billionaire,
no.
so he probably went to like one of the.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Start now.
I don't think.
I'm not sure if he's a billionaire.
Was it an?
Craigslist ad.
Was it an outside entrance motel room that she got it done in?
It was puttyface.com.
Yeah. I don't know. It's been an interesting listen. I'll say that. I mean, I'm not a deep cut Kanye guy. I probably like his sneakers more than most of his music. But who the fuck else could make this album?
Nobody.
That's listening to this. I was like, if this didn't have his name on it, nobody would even fucking know.
Absolutely.
Oh, who would listen to it if it wasn't his?
Right. And part of that may be all the features except Jay-Z and the Locks are like younger people
Yes, they are.
that I'm not
More or
super.
less unknowns.
Well,
Not necessarily.
They're not that.
They're
big.
unknown to some people, Evan. Not.
I'm sure their mom knows them, but I'm just saying I don't know them.
Well, you know, listen, they've got 400 followers on Instagram. Bobby's all over it. He's like, listen, if you got more than 400 followers and you make drill music, you're out. You gotta keep it low. Gotta keep it low.
Yeah,
No.
they start selling out around 500.
And there's a couple drill beats on there, isn't there?
They're definitely drill inspired.
Yeah.
Definitely drill inspired. The one with Fabio Foreign, who's a up and coming.
Is it like the 4th or 5th track on the?
yes,
Yeah.
get off the grid.
None of them. So I was looking at it as I was listening because he has the features, and I couldn't tell who was featured.
So I pulled
they're
up.
not listed.
I pulled up another list. I'm like, who is this? Because I recognize some of the voices. I'm like, I recognize that. That's The Weeknd. I know that.
Yeah.
But then, so I found a website that helped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of selfish, but whatever.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking.
is. It is, but
But you know what? He paid for the features, so I guess he can do what he wants.
That's fair.
true.
And he doesn't need them to sell their music.
But I
guess he
also
thinks-
think the aesthetics to him matter. Like how.
I swear that's what I thought on the way here. It was on my dash.
Yeah.
And you have the song,
Yep.
Kanye West, Donda.
Yeah. I think it matters. I think it matters to
think
him
you're
how it.
absolutely right.
All those little details to him matter. What did you think of it, Ed?
Jeez, it's not my favorite Kanye album at all. And admittedly, I'm an old school Kanye guy. But I have to be realistic and know that a lot of what he was doing before early 2000 stuff was prior to the tragedy of his mother passing. So that kind of stuff does change you.
Yeah.
And it can change you as a person and artistically and creatively. So it's not right for anybody to say, I want old Kanye back, because that shit ain't happening.
Yeah.
So we have to kind of get used to his.
I want the old
his-
Kanye.
Yeah.
That'd be so Kanye.
Well, listen to the old Kanye.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I am. I'll listen to all the new stuff just to hear it and have a informed opinion. But I'm not going to put this on, repeat personally. There's a couple songs I might pick out of here. But, it's not for me, it's not where it's at.
So I'll tell you, I don't think it's meant for that. Like I don't think this is his top tier work, but I think it's probably his second tier work. Like if the top tier for me is Preserved for College Dropout and my Twisted Secret Fantasy, whatever it's called, those are like to me his best 2 albums ever made. And then underneath that, for me, subjective, is 808s, Yeezus.
Late Registration.
So, Late Registration is the one with Diamonds from Sierra Leone on it.
Probably.
Yeah, I believe that's right.
So I actually think that's at lower.
Really?
Yeah, I think that Graduation Day is better. That had
I gotta listen to all of
Wait till I get my money right, Bobby.
Wait till I get my money. Yeah, that shit still feels good every time. But I would put this in that second tier. I don't think it's meant for a vibe. Like I don't think it's meant to like put on while you're doing something else.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's meant to like sit down and really listen to.
This could be part of his therapy and his catharsis for him too to get this out. And
so I have a deep dive on it. I have a conspiracy theory on it. So first of all, he said he didn't want it to come out yesterday. That Universal put it out without his approval.
Really?
Because he wanted that shit to come out the day that Drake shit came out.
Of
All
course.
this shit was to compete with Drake. But I think that Universal is worried that Drake would outperform him numbers wise.
I believe that.
Yeah, I think it's very
They're
possible.
both on Universal, though, right?
Probably ultimately, but what does that mean for Kanye's next effort? What does that do to the name and brand of Kanye that he got defeated by Drake? If you have a guy that's like an artist's artist, and he
Remember
kind
when
of
50 Cent and Kanye came out on the same day? Mm-hmm. Was that 2008?
and where's 50 Cent?
Oh, he's counting his money, but he ain't making many rap songs.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So like I think that played a part in it. But he here's my conspiracy theory hat, and then unless you guys want to talk about it more, we can, because I can talk about this forever, and we can move on. I don't think this is about his heartache with his mother. I think it's about becoming the person that his mother wants him to be. And I think it's about becoming the person that his God wants him to be. And I think that the answer to that is in the features. So he has Fabio Foreign on there, who was just recently locked up and is dealing with becoming too big for his neighborhood, and the neighborhood is now making diss records about him. And he has this moment where he gets introspective and talks about all of that, which is a very un-Fabio thing to do, because usually it's just
I think I know which song you're talking about.
that was off the grid.
Yeah.
Then he has Little Durk on there. Little Durk, who lost Von last year or year before, and then lost his brother just recently, was murdered. And he talks about that and becomes introspective about that on this album. He has allowed that platform to do so. He works to prepare the relationship with him and Jay-Z on Jail. There's a lot of Larry Hoover Jr.,
I thought that was profound. I like that.
who is the son of Larry Hoover, who started the Gangster Disciples, has a moment to just lament about his father doing fucking like 6 life sentences and never killed anybody. And he's a lockdown, like he's on like solitary confinement for like the whole bid.
Wow.
And he allows him that platform to tell his story. A lot of people, there's other ones too, I always forget, but like that, there's all these people with features that have been going through all of this shit in their lives, and they have this moment to like tell the world about it, and he's providing it for them. There's only one feature on there that he's not on. Kanye's not on it at all.
Yeah.
Pop Smoke. Because he can't help him.
Wait, what?
Wow.
Pop
That's
Smoke
deep,
on
Bobby.
So there's a song on there called Tell the Vision.
It's only like a minute and a half.
Okay.
Yep. And
Okay.
And it's just Pop Smoke. Kanye's not on it at all. But Kanye produced it.
Did Kanye produce that, or did they just send him some vocals? Did they collaborate on this?
No.
Okay.
They sent him the vocals. He produced the music. But the reason why he's not on there is because that's the one that he can't help.
Yeah.
Is my deep dive conspiracy on this album.
Did I hear some shade towards Kim Kardashian in there?
So I don't think so. I don't think it's shade. I don't think it's shade in a diss sense. I think that he's talking about I think he's pretty open about their relationship, and he talks about the good and the bad. The one thing that he said on there that like is haunting me because I know that vibe, but he's like, I'm sad when you're not here, and I'm mad when you're here.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, like I've been there, you know, at different points and ebbs and flows in my relationship where like I miss her, I want her here, but the moment she comes in, I got an attitude for some reason, and I don't know why, you know. But I think in that he talks a lot about coming to terms with that. I think there's these themes about mothers and sons, or parents and children. One of the closing song before all of the part twos is "No Child Left Behind," right? And he was obviously left behind by his mother. Now he's divorcing from his wife, and what does that mean for his children? And I think there's those themes that carry through. Even the pop song that's on there, the Pop Smoke song. It's "Thank God That I Made It." Tell Mama I made it. God, Mom.
Yeah.
You know, like. So I think there's the fact that it opens with jail and it closes with Larry Hoover Jr. talking about jail. That's just not an accident. That's not how his brain works.
Listen, everything on that album is
nothing
purposeful.
on it. Yeah,
and it was made to be listened to. And you know, it's an album in the truest sense.
Yes, agreed.
I don't think there's any club banger singles on it.
It's a piece of art.
It is a piece of art.
Nothing else. He's always said he's an artistic genius or whatever. He's an artist.
He has
right?
no problem saying it.
Exactly.
And if
he's made it known how he feels about himself.
That's my biggest criticism of him is if he would just let his work speak for him.
It's like giving yourself a nickname.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, I think what he's putting out now is definitely art, and I feel like he has the what do you call it, cultural cachet, if you will, to be able to put out whatever he wants now. He doesn't need the club bangers. He doesn't need the radio hits. He can do whatever his imagination calls for, and he doesn't care because guess what? I'm gonna be successful with or without you. He's a money making machine just on name alone.
Yeah, and it,
you know,
and while it's very much, you know, about God, and God plays a big role in this album, it never feels preachy to me.
correct.
It never feels like he's telling me to like go up and you know, ask for forgiveness for all my sins. It's more like it's like that approach that I kind of wish super religious people would take more often, where it's like, let me just see you in your state and see how kind of happy and at peace you are regarding this, and let that be the inspiration for me to kind of look deeper.
Right.
So, and then we can move off this because it's not a it's not a music show per se, but it's a big pop culture phenomenon, this whole project.
And if you want to spend more money on Kanye stuff, he has a $200 T-shirt you can buy on his website.
I never bought a Kanye thing in my life, and I don't plan on it.
Okay.
That's just me because I don't like his style of clothing. But I recognize that for some people they do, and he's made more money off clothing than he's ever made off music.
Absolutely.
So
For sure.
Good for him.
Yeah.
You know, shit. If somebody paid me for some ugly ass shoes,
I'm kind of so I like some of them.
I've got 3 pairs of those ugly ass shoes.
So the Yeezy Boost I
sorry
like.
for your luck.
You don't like the Boost?
Which ones are
the 350 Boost.
Which ones are those? You got to show me.
Yeah, because I don't like the ones that look like foam space shoes.
I don't like with all the holes in them.
Yes.
I don't like those.
Yeah, I don't like those
I don't
either.
like those.
There's a lot of different. I mean, he's got so many things. I'll pull it up real quick. Hang on.
But I do like they kind of look like socks on soles to me. To be fair, but I at the same time I kind of like them.
If they're comfortable, that's good. I mean, and to be fair, it took me years to even get a pair of Crocs. And
Yeah, I still don't have a pair.
I always said I wouldn't get those ugly ass shoes, but here I am.
Here you are
with giblets on them and everything.
Oh, you got. Oh, yeah, I saw your stories where you had the flare.
So I mean, it might be one of those things where in a couple years I'm like, oh, those look comfortable.
That's the ones Bobby likes to see.
What do you do with those? Like, I mean, where do you wear them?
I don't know.
Sports shoes? Are they?
I think they
I've got those.
I like
the all black.
Yeah.
I think they wear sneakers.
I think I've got
jeans.
something close to that. They put out like 5 different cream color ones, and then I've got the Beluga 2.0s too.
Yeah.
So. But what I don't
made that much money.
What I don't like are those big. Yeah, right. But what I don't like are those big foam ones, like those ones that just look like. But you know what's funny is those foam ones are like catching on with like.
They are
big designers.
I be feeling like he's trolling sometimes with
actually
these designs.
the big design. They kind of brought that to the forefront, and that's what he's trying to do is make it more of a luxury brand.
Yeah.
And
he's there. I mean, he's definitely priced it that way. So good for him. I can't hate on nobody.
Not very Christian of him though.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, have you seen the price of food at one of his concerts? Jeez, like good Lord, he's Joel Osteen in this bitch.
But you know, a lot of but to be fair, a lot of the album deals with contradictions too. Like and listening to it, like it's a lot of like, you know, I keep it clean, but I always mess it up, and like, you know, there's a lot of those like climbing up, but I keep falling down. There's a lot of these like blatant contradictions,
and I ain't mad at it because at the end of the day, you can't look at entertainers and celebrities as role models. Like, they're humans, and you can't put people on pedestals and expect certain things. Like, I don't like that. I don't like when people say, I'm so disappointed they're a hypocrite. We're all hypocrites, first of all. And just don't get mad because you fell for the game. You know, at the end of the day, if you get an opportunity to make money doing X, Y, Z, and sometimes your business and capitalism is about hypocrisy and stuff like that. So I ain't mad at it.
And while he is like very much his biggest fan whenever he gets the chance to speak, in the music he's a lot more honest with himself. I always call back to the song Welcome to Heartbreak, where he's like, my friend showed me pictures of his kids and all I could show him was pictures of my cribs. He said his daughter got a brand new report card and all I got is a brand new sports car. Where did I go wrong? Like, you know, like he's very humble when he's got the pen.
Yeah.
But when he's got the mic, he's a fucking asshole. You know?
Could be compensating too.
Yeah. So let's move on to some notes. We got a few. Smells Like a Lawsuit. The kid who had his penis out in the Nirvana Nevermind album cover is suing the band.
Baby?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Somebody sent me a screenshot of that on the news.
Brink put me up,
and I thought it was. Well, he sent me. I thought it was a joke because it just seemed like that would be funny. But no.
How old is this guy?
So
he's not even a kid
28.
anymore. He's old enough to be called a man.
Let's see here.
28 years old.
So he says, Spencer.
He's just trying to get paid. That's all it is. He's just wanting money.
Most
and
people
I don't.
sue just want to settle.
Spencer Eldon was 4 months old. He was dunked in a swimming pool as part of a photo shoot for the album. The cover ended up featuring him and his clearly visible penis. That's just funny. Underwater as he appeared to chase a dollar bill dangling at the end of a fishing line. Eldon, now 30, claims this means Nirvana knowingly produced, possessed, and advertised commercial child pornography with this image, and they knowingly received value in exchange for doing so. The plaintiff is seeking monetary damages authorized by the federal criminal law prohibiting and defining child pornography.
Where's David Geffen? Get him to fix it.
So he also says that his parents got paid. Like, it was something ridiculous.
Like $200 for the photo shoot, and then someone licensed the photo to use it.
Right. So here's my thing. First of all, nakedness does not mean pornography.
Absolutely.
Like, if you look at like when they do like documentaries on some African country, and the women are running around.
Look at me
with their breast out. No, I wanted you to. I'm inviting you.
No, I completely agree with you. It's about intention.
Correct.
It's all about intention.
What about all them National Geographics?
So
Same thing.
You know what? Yeah, you know what's funny is there's a Rammstein song.
Du Hast. That's the only one anybody knows.
No, but it's I'll try to find it real quick. But the music video. If you've never seen any Rammstein music videos, I highly suggest you watch them all. They have the best music videos ever in music. Michael Jackson is at least number 2. Like, they can't fuck with their music videos. They're fucking brilliant. But they have an album or a song where they're kind of like people, I guess, like the original explorers that find Africa. And in this music video, there are African women with their shirts off, dancing and doing, whatever, carrying pots and shit, the whole whatever you imagine. And it's on YouTube. Like, it's not, it's not like it's
nudity in and of
correct.
itself isn't bad. It's what we do with it and how we intend to use it and how we see it. Like, we sexualize nudity a lot,
right?
And we don't. That's not how it's supposed to be. The same argument goes for breastfeeding and things like that.
The song is called Auslander. Auslander. I recommend you try it. I recommend you give it a watch because it's quite good.
Matter of fact, speaking of the nudity thing or whatnot, I thought about that. It was a Nerd Rage post about the art. I can't remember the artist's name, but it showed women and whatnot.
I like it already.
Yeah, and they had their breasts exposed, but it wasn't a sexualization of them. And I think that it's art. You know, so you can't sit there and say for this kid. Back to the lawsuit. I do think he's just trying to settle. And
he's trying to get paid.
Money.
So there's a lot of money there, and let him get some.
So let me say this: child pornography bit. I 100% agree with you guys. It's bullshit. It's frivolous. It's unfounded in my opinion. That album cover is a statement about capitalism. It's not about sex in any way, shape, or form.
Well,
now,
I mean, was it shocking in '93 when that came out? Yeah,
100%. Now, does that baby deserve more than $200?
That baby wasn't in the court shooting in the gym. He good.
See, that one's tricky for me.
I feel
like you're talking about a kid that now every time anybody meets him, it's always like, you're the penis kid?
Well,
you would have to say
you'd
that.
have to say it. Isn't like you can recognize him.
Unless his dick was the same size.
Prove it. Prove it. Whip it. Prove it. Let me see. Let me see.
What if you could?
Look, I got $1. What do you want to do? The fuck out of here.
Dude,
Bitch ass.
What if there's somebody with just dollars like on hooks, just like
that Allstate commercial?
Must not be him.
I got $1.
Look like one of the Mario things.
Yeah. All of a sudden, he like when you wave it in front of him, he just strips nude. Yeah. I mean, I think that like depending on because it is iconic, and every time they put it on a T-shirt, every time they put it on, and make something like I'm like, man, like maybe there's something there. I'm willing to go
royalties, maybe.
I'm willing to go out on a limb and say perhaps he's due for more than just $200.
Well, and here's the thing we don't know. Same with what I said about the whole Scarlett Johansson thing. There was a lot of conversation that happened before they put pen to paper, and I guarantee you, this dude's knocked on that door enough times and they've told him to fuck off. He's like, okay, I got this.
Dude, you know what's funny is when I asked on episode 300 who's got the most famous penis in the world.
It was the Nirvana kid.
Was that the answer that we came to? But I think we came to John Bobbitt, but I think it might be...
John Bobbitt, that's true.
But I think it might be the Nirvana kid.
Maybe Batman.
Maybe the most seen penis in the world.
I wonder how many people have looked at that album cover.
I mean, because he's...
But that's what I mean.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what I mean? That's what makes it the most famous one.
I wonder how many people
on it
have
myself,
not
but,
even...
I know.
I think I'm in the running in Maryland.
Right.
Yeah. I just wonder how many people have seen that album cover 1,000 times and not even paid attention.
I've seen it, and I've never once...
There's an edited one, too.
That's crazy, because I've never once seen, or looked at, I should say, it for a kid's dick. You look at it.
I'm not looking for it either. Don't make it weird.
I've never noticed it. I've never noticed the kid's dick in it because that's not what you're looking for.
Right.
Yeah, I think what you notice at first is just that there's a baby in $1. I think that's like what keys you in, and then you're like, oh shit, and his dick is out.
And babies are so like innocent and whatnot that we all have kids. So you're not. We've all bathed our babies when they were that young. So you're not. I think. That's one of those things where you're not sitting there sexualizing a picture. I don't care who you are unless you're some creep. But,
well, I'll tell you, not that I've sexualized anything with babies. Let me clear that up. But I will tell you, as a man with 3 girls who has changed their ass consistently, or cleaned their ass consistently from when they were babies, there is like you gotta be thorough.
Yeah,
you gotta be thorough, or you can cause a problem.
Yep,
I learned that with my daughter, and now my granddaughter. So. Yes, I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, culture, right?
Wow. Wow.
Absolutely.
But I've never I've not to say like there have been times where I've been doing my due diligence to make sure that I keep them healthy, and I've been like, this feels like too much. Like I'm uncomfortable. I know I have to do this. But I don't like that I'm doing this.
Sometimes you want to just get a spray bottle and just, get hands up.
I will say, having sons and a daughter, that the boys are much easier to deal with from a maintenance,
from a hygiene
standpoint.
perspective.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So like I don't know how I got here from that, but just in terms of being like that parenting challenge, I can tell you, especially with my first, that I was like, man, like. I need somebody over me just to
I need
make
a
sure
witness.
that I'm not because like you got to make sure shit is clean.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or and it's not the easiest work, especially for a 26-year-old man at the kid.
Same boat.
Right
Same
there.
boat. Yeah, I
Yep.
got you.
26, 27. Yep.
Yeah, 27. All right. But yeah, in my final opinion on it, the child pornography is bullshit. He's reaching. He knows he's reaching.
They're gonna settle and give him some money, and that's all there'll
Yeah.
be to it.
It's
But-
about publicity. Negative publicity, make it go away.
But the picture, man, with every T-shirt, every button, every poster, he may now contracts are contracts, and people dumb contracts get you dumb results and all that kind of shit. I'm on board, but just morally, ethically speaking, he might be due for more than just $200 that his parents spent it.
His parents still alive? I think that's what I would think.
That's a good question
If his parents,
because they negotiated a dumbass
there you
deal.
go.
He
That's
should
what I'm
sue
saying.
them.
Well, like
That's kind of where I'm going with it.
the guy who famously did the Yahoo holler for their ads years ago, he got paid like $200. Just some studio time, man. That's all it was.
Let's talk about this HasLab project real quick. I'm going to be doing a sit down Saturday on this as well this week. But have you seen the recent HasLab project?
The Galactus.
Yeah,
Well,
it's more.
that ends. I have some decisions to make today.
Oh yeah, I'm in. So Galactus is their second to last. They just recently last week revealed a
much teased
a Victory Saber, like a Star Saber and Victory Leo, the lion and that combine and the
Pass.
yeah, right. So let me tell you what I think is interesting about it.
I'd rather have the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, if I'm being honest.
1/6.
No, Transformers.
Just you turned into a fucking closet.
No, it's a box. It's a box. Yep. It's one of those Beast Box things.
Oh, it could be like a sound wave, and you press eject, and the hangers jump out and turn
Exactly.
into.
That's what it is. Yeah. Or the Lion and the Witch are inside the wardrobe, Bobby. They're the tapes. Repaint
shit.
time.
Oh my god, dude!
Somebody get on it.
He's spitting this guy. I
Build the
think
buddy booth.
Build the buddy booth. I think it's telling that the So here's the question: with Unicron done, this is first
Yep.
question. What do you do for Transformers as a brand for something in this department? And I posed this question to a Patreon Zoom meeting that we had yesterday, and they had like one answer that they had on there was like a more technical or perhaps fancy. So it's that thing from that episode.
Gotcha.
It's like a better Devastator.
Okay.
With 6 bots that all look good. They were all made a little bit better. Not quite MP, but definitely not what you're used to getting with Chug. That made a nice.
What's wrong with the
Devastator.
one that came out a couple years ago, Bobby?
Well, I guess it depends on who you ask, Christopher.
Yeah, I guess so. How many detox can you put it in?
But like, I think that that's a decent idea. I think that like, had they not done this Titan class arc,
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that.
yeah,
Yeah, it's still a pass.
Okay.
yeah. I think had they not done this Titan class arc recently, I'm in for that. That they could have done an arc bot and done it because I think that there's Transformer collectors that it would have been like, cool, he transforms. It's the arc, and I can put him with my Titans. And I think there's another group of Transformer fans that collect third-party legends that would be like, oh, this would be great for that.
Right.
So I think that that's probably the better place to have gone. So here's my second. Do you have any idea of anything they could have possibly done for a HasLab project?
I mean, they
Other
could
than
they
Unicron.
could have done that walk and talk Optimus as a Kickstarter.
That's fair.
Instead of
That's fair. Walk and talk.
Can talk.
well, I mean,
I know.
convert.
I just thought about
Hey,
it.
I've-
Didn't they do one? Somebody made one of those.
No, it's up for order right
Okay,
now.
okay.
That's what
Yeah.
he's saying. If they had done
They
that,
could have
for
done
the-
that. I mean, I pre-ordered one.
How
It's-
tall is 32 inches?
So I'll tell you, it's taller than the space between that DTOF and the
That's
ceiling.
about 13 inches. A DTOF
Stop
shell.
looking
a
at my
DTOF
dick, bro.
I'm sorry, a DTOF is 15 by 15 by 12.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah, you see the space, the where the top of the DTOF is to the ceiling.
Yeah.
that is less than
What,
32 inches.
what's 32 inches?
The Galactus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put mine in a throne because that's the space I have allotted
This is
for him.
yeah, that's crazy. I might pre-order that.
Yeah.
Today's the last day.
I'll get on it.
Yeah. I can't really think of anything, Bobby, other than I don't know, and it's technically like it's a mainline size thing. It's not Masterpiece or anything. Right. Did you watch the Fan First Friday?
I did not.
I tell you, like, it's to me, the way they rolled that out, it was just like, okay, here's what's next. The guys that were doing it, I don't know who they are, but they just didn't seem, to me, they didn't seem that excited about it.
So that lends me to my second question I wanted to ask you. So it's almost like we've done this before.
Oh.
If a Titan class transformer is available in general release, GR as you would, and that's
you're learning.
You see him. $115 to $125. Let's say to be safe.
Okay.
And this is $180. Mm-hmm. What does it tell us about the amount of faith that Hasbro has in a HasLab crowdfunded transformer piece
after the Unicron fiasco?
Exactly.
So the price point to me, I just looked. They won 11,000. They've already got 4,700. It's going to get funded. There's no doubt.
Well, because as far as a HasLab product goes, it's super accessible.
It's super accessible. It's $160, $180 or whatever. But like, I just don't know how many. I mean, people are ordering it because the example I wanted to set I think it's for Kingdom. What's the current line? It's the Rodimus Prime. That's $80 at retail.
So that's my point.
So it's twice that. But
it's like
it seems like engineering wise, it would be more than
if this was two releases set at the same price point. Their market has a space for it.
Yeah.
Their business model currently has a space for it.
Yeah,
because it seems so weird.
I saw that $80 Rodimus at my rinky-dink Walmart the other day.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's confusing, but I think it says a lot about how they feel about Unicron and how they feel about like plausible possibilities for that brand with that kind of a business approach.
Right. And the other thing is, a kid walking through Target isn't going to, oh my God, they've got Star Saber, Dad.
or most adults.
Right.
Sure.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Even the casual,
yeah.
Who the hell is this?
It's certainly an obscure figure to have a big price point. I'll give you that.
Yeah, it is for sure.
So you're getting how many of these, Evan?
Galacti.
I think can I pre-order 6 at a time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're in on Galactus?
I'm 32 inches. I'm gonna go home and measure
the spot.
Realistically, could I put that somewhere and they look good? So I really have to check that out.
Dude, I thought because I allotted space for it. I was like, he's gonna come one day, so to speak. And when I mapped out my Marvel spot, I have about that much space, and I was like, that should cover it. Mm-hmm. Nope.
Yeah. Now with my new displays.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can only order 5. It says.
Damn it. I'll get somebody to order the other ones for
me.
Yeah.
But with my new displays, I have more space on top, so
that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
I've been drinking out of this water thing recently, so it's supposed to be motivation for me to get the proper amount of water in every day. But let me say this about this thing: it's fine, it's working fine. I fill it up once, it's cool, no problem. However, I don't know shit about water containers, so I got one. The kids have smaller ones, whatever. And I said, they were talking about, name brand. There's, a name brand one of these. It's, super, super popular. And we were talking about it in regards to Jaina and her being judged at school for clothes and whatever. And I was like, it's just like these water bottles. What brand is this? To Laura. And Laura gave me this look, and shook her head, oh.
That's funny.
It's like she didn't want Jaina to feel worse about it. Oh God, that shit was funny.
There was a thing, I guess, 2019 about some specific water bottle all the kids. I don't know if it's the same thing. It's been years now, but yeah, because Kennedy came home talking about some girls that have some specific water bottles.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing.
It was. I know.
It's not a Nalgene bottle. Now is that a brand?
No, but there is a. It is a
Visk. Yeah, and they make all these stupid. Yeah,
I was like, what is it? Because I kept seeing memes.
I couldn't even understand it. Nobody can explain it.
I googled it. And
I'm just too old. I'm trash.
Yeah, I felt old when this must be a young people's game.
So here's our next one. OnlyFans for common sense. OnlyFans has decided, you know what? We're gonna keip the porno shit on there. There's a space for all creators.
That's right.
Look, I think it's the smart choice. I think they're still looking for a way out, but I think it's the smart choice.
They have to find the right venture capitalist firm that'll invest in them if that's what they're wanting. Because that seems to be the whole point of it is to get some venture capitalists. But it's just like, hey, we're gonna not offer this revenue stream anymore. But hey, give us money to build a better one.
Because they've already had big people pull out, so to speak.
Of what?
Of OnlyFans. Like they're some of their top providers that they're taking 30% from or whatever it is. Been like, nope. Even the thought of it makes me nervous. I'm going a different route now.
Oh, because there's so much porn on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I think is interesting is that like it is an example where the creators really won.
Absolutely. There was a lot of backlash about that. And I personally couldn't care less.
Yeah, I don't.
It doesn't affect me, but
nor I. But I don't like to see it. You know, I don't like to see like people that are like, you know, I mean, producing, you know, a ton of content for a demographic.
Somebody's paying for it,
right?
So I can't. You know, it ain't my cup of tea. I don't know who would pay for.
Oh,
porn.
it's probably my cup of tea. I just don't want to pay for it.
I'm not paying. No, I can't imagine in this day and age paying for porn. I put it that way.
So, like, here's the thing. Let me tell you where it gets different.
I'm sorry if that offends.
Preach.
Let me tell you where it gets different. Is if you follow some girl on Instagram and you get into her, and you're like, well, I want to see what the skill set is.
But how much though? Because like literally, even if I paid $5 and I don't know what it gets you on OnlyFans.
I think it varies. They set their own.
So let's say they charge $5 a month or $10 a month, whatever. After that, I've got enough. Like I'm good. I don't.
No, I'm with you. I would get in for like a month.
Yeah.
Partake. And then be like, and now that experience has been
you scratch
experienced,
that
like,
itch. Yeah.
I'm that would be me also. But I could see myself doing it. Like, well, let me see what's on the menu for next month,
Right?
You know, and some of them are like, you know, and if they were smart, you know, they lure me in with like you know, like first month they're just like.
Oh my God!
To be continued.
Correct.
You like screen turn black.
Correct. I'd be like, all right, just go ahead and clear this for next month. You know what I mean? So moving on to the next note, we have Spider-Man: No Way Home trailer. You've seen it, I imagine. Yes. Okay.
I didn't watch the leaked one either.
We tried, it got sent to me. It was like a video of somebody holding a phone of a video of somebody holding a phone.
It was like a fifth share of a story.
I had access to it, but I was like, this is too much. I wear glasses. I don't need this shit. I'm gonna just wait.
It'd be like if one person had gotten a Kanye album early in like 1998, and you had like the seventh. You got to turn it all the way up. Turn all the way up. Put the microphone in front of it.
I'd have been sitting right
there. You kind of make out some of the words.
I'd have been sitting. Dude, I'll tell you, when I was in like high school and a song came on, like a music video, I would hold up my boombox to the TV and press record on a tape so that I could hear it.
I've done that before.
You know, these fucking kids today.
The trailer was great, but I just couldn't watch the leaked one because it was just too much.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you couldn't make out much.
But, so, what do you think of the trailer? What do you like?
I'm excited.
Yeah, I got the impression that you were excited from it.
And part of it is honestly Mason's like a huge Spider-Man fan, so it's cool that he's like, "Geez, let's watch the trailer." It's gonna. I mean, this is gonna kick the door open for infinite possibilities.
Multi possibilities.
Well, yeah, and you know these shows we've been watching, like or not, have been building this framework. Now, although this is the Sony stuff, you've still got a Marvel guy right there with the Doctor Strange bit. Why do you think they're afraid to do a movie? Well, I guess the second one didn't really have.
Yeah, I've thought about this.
Didn't have
but it has Fury in it a lot.
So I guess he's going to be the.
I wonder if because of the business arrangement between Marvel and Sony,
there has to be something there.
If every Spider-Man movie has to have a big supporting cast from Marvel, it can't be by accident.
Yeah.
Because Favreau, Iron Man, Fury, and now Doctor Strange. So let me say this, and I think that you're right. That the shows are building up towards this. But I also think that in hindsight, it's going to be one of those things where you didn't need it. Where what happens here with Strange and...
Because they're going to explain it.
Exactly. Fucking up the spell is going to give it to you. It's just going to be like one of those, like, you read the Star Wars novels so you know who Poosh Nichols is.
Right.
But you don't have to... You know what I mean? But you don't have to know who Poosh Nichols is to
enjoy...
Poosh
Nickens?
Yeah, Poosh Nickens. Okay. Ken Rock.
What's up, Doc?
But yeah, it was cool to see Doc Ock. I think that at least puts
Hello, Peter.
It at least confirms the rumors that we all knew were true.
Well, what Peter is he talking to?
Good point. But at the very
Is it Peter?
it at least confirms that this multiverse thing is happening.
Yes. They didn't give us Toby or Andrew.
Yes.
Saving that.
They're saving that.
Yeah, but it might be in the proper trailer because now the cat's out of the bag. You know, I'm not looking forward to this Flash movie that's coming that's doing the same thing, and everybody's saying they're just doing, you know, where anybody who's been doing this podcast knows that they've been both working on the same shit behind the scenes.
Sure.
But because of when it comes out chronologically, people are going to be like, oh, they're stealing Marvel shit.
So the Flashpoint Paradox stuff.
Yeah. Because they're
that's
they
that's
got
another
Keaton,
thing.
They got Keaton in that as Batman.
So that's another thing. It's like me in the you know, just because one wrestling company's doing it, it's the same thing. But enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
Be glad there's competition because if it was just Marvel making movies, never mind. They still whoop everybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But
it's
you
one
know
of
what
those
I'm
things that If you know the source material, you know what the Flashpoint Paradox is. So
Right.
you shouldn't have. And if you don't, then shut up. But
That's fair.
I
That's
mean,
a fair point.
It's an uninformed opinion at that point.
That's
You're just
also
saying,
fair.
You're just giving a hot take.
I think that's going to be my response when it starts rolling in.
Yeah.
And it's going to start rolling in my way. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Especially at work. There's going to be plenty of people that just don't know.
They're just doing the same thing. No,
And I'm
we'll
gonna
read
be
the
like-
source
I'm
material.
gonna say that.
Otherwise,
That's an uninformed opinion.
yep. And
If you'd like me to change your site on that, I'd be happy to help you. But
I'll give you some resources.
But if you want to stay in that bag, then you're gonna stay in that bag without me.
I'm looking forward to all of it, and I was excited about the trailer. And you know,
I think it's a cool concept that it's all being done to undo J. Jonah Jameson's reveal of his face. Like that's the catalyst for it all.
yeah.
And that like he's a little weirded out about like, but I think it's better that Aunt May doesn't know. I think it's better that MJ doesn't know. I think that's better for the universe anyway. Like, so it might be just a smart way to retcon some mistakes that they may have made.
I like it. I do like. I like how, when heroes have secret identities.
Yeah.
and you know that just
The stakes get
stakes
higher.
high. Yeah, it's so the secret identity thing to me, and in Marvel, nobody really has them. So at least keep some type of.
It's important, especially for a character that's so powerful. It's kryptonite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that becomes the kryptonite,
Right.
Because he doesn't want to put Aunt May.
I'll just
That's
kill
why
your family. You know, it's
That's
like,
why you shouldn't kill Aunt May. You know what I mean? It's because she's the kryptonite.
Marissa Tomei.
She well, yeah, that too. You know,
Yeah, keep her in.
I saw a meme it was sent to me recently. It was like every time they reboot Spider-Man, and it was like, what are we gonna do about Aunt May? And then it cut to Anakin and Emperor, or the Emperor and the counselor or whatever, and he's like, soon we will have a new Aunt May, one far younger and more powerful.
That's good. That's good.
But yeah, so yeah, I'm excited about it.
Was that December, November?
I'm excited.
December 17th.
I'm
December 17th.
Yeah.
That's quick.
Gonna be here before you know it.
When's
when is
Eternals?
Carnage? Eternals is November.
So
I
they're
believe.
double booking November is interesting.
October or November, but Venom and Carnage,
and
I
that
should
one
say,
too.
comes out. So we and then
Shang-Chi's this
is
weekend.
Next week.
It's this weekend.
Sheesh.
So they're making up for
Back
lost
to
time.
back
Hey,
to back.
listen, we're back to the old. Remember the old days?
Yeah,
It was like every 2 months we were at the theater.
Yeah, I'm with
BC.
it. Hey,
BC.
Before
play my
COVID.
schedule. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm here for it. I don't know if I'll probably see Spider-Man in the theater if that's how they do it. Mm-hmm. Shang-Chi, I might wait.
Figures.
I'll go see it in the theater.
So I'm gonna call Joe and see if he wants to go see it in theaters.
I'm gonna go see it. Oh.
I just, you know what it is? It's not that I don't want to see it in the theater. I'm not complaining about it because I understand why.
Yeah.
I understand the risk. I personally don't want to sit somewhere and watch something that I'm supposed to enjoy with a mask on my face.
Ooh, true.
Well, yeah,
That's
that's
it.
true. And I forgot about
That's it.
I remember those good old days, those 2 months
Yeah.
of freedom.
If the mask mandate goes away, I'm there in the theater.
I hear you.
And once again, I say that because I'll get people in my DMs like, masks are important. I understand.
We get it.
We get it. We get it.
They are.
Trust me, we
but
are.
It's just you don't
But
want to enjoy certain things. Yeah.
My comfort is also important, and I'm not asking people to sacrifice their health for my comfort, but I will sacrifice a movie for my comfort.
So would you? With that being said, would you order Shang-Chi at home? Like,
yes, but it's a 45-day delay on this one. So it's
you
not a
have to-
simultaneous release.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
just same with Black Widow.
No,
Black
that
Widow.
was simultaneous.
Yeah, that was day of drop. That was a WB
I see.
style.
You can't order it until 45 days later. Okay. There's some movies where the pre-release, whatever, it costs you more, like $30 to get it same day to watch it video on demand. And then others, it'll be free on the streaming service after.
Right.
Say, like Cruella was like 90 days or something like that.
I think Cruella wasn't a simultaneous release.
No,
I don't know if I can't.
we saw that in theaters.
Yeah, well, I understand that, but I mean, like Cruella came out before Black Widow.
No, I mean it's free on the. On
for
Disney+.
free.
So it was
for
45
free.
days till they showed it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. This one is like I think you can't even buy it for 45
They're
days.
trying to get that theater money.
Well, I think it might also have to do with what they've encountered with fucking Scarlett Johansson and the legal
They
troubles.
probably
in
had to
regards
look at
that.
some contracts.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, Aquafina, she don't play.
Yeah.
She'll cut you over her money.
You know what's funny? I follow this girl on Instagram who looks a little bit like Scarlett Johansson, except she's far thicker and more powerful.
You gotta send me that.
But anyway, somebody I guess came across her page recently, and it was like so and so.
That came all across her page.
Yeah,
I saw the tribute video.
Somebody said so and so, and then it was like followed by Bobby Skullface, and he just screenshot it to me and sent it to me, and was like, "If you know, you know."
Oh, I catch. I catch people slipping all the time like that. I'm like, all right, you used to be able to. Remember, you used to be able to see what other people were liking and shit.
Yeah.
I wonder how many relationships got ruined from that.
Yeah, for sure. And then we have questions. I did want to say, I'm excited about the movie. Mm-hmm. I want to watch the movie. Mm-hmm. I want to see the movie. I might be willing to do the mask for that movie. That being said, it's not, my excitement for it is not because of this trailer.
Okay.
I didn't find the trailer to excite.
Shang-Chi trailer?
No, the Spider-Man trailer.
Okay.
Like I've only watched it once, which for me, if a trailer comes out and I'm excited about it, I'm running it back. I want to show my kids. I'm showing my wife. I'm showing people at work that are like, yeah, Spider-Man, the cartoon. You know what I mean? Like I'm anybody that will look at it, I want to see it, and I haven't been that way with it.
Are you that way with the Eternals?
No.
Yeah, I'm not jacked about that one either, but I know what it represents and what it could open up. So
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm on board with it.
I watched one of those video breakdown videos of that trailer, and like, oh, well, I understand what these people, because I don't know what the fuck these dudes are.
Right.
I was like, now it makes sense, but y'all are lame because you didn't do nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you're gonna do something.
I'm
Why didn't
into
you do
it
something
just
5 years
because
ago.
It's Marvel, so
Yeah.
I'm into it, but I'm not excited.
It's the world
about
building,
it.
right? That's
Yeah.
what you want to see.
So we'll move on to questions. This one's a bit of a long one, but I'm gonna read it. It says, hello, Bobby. Big fan of your work. I don't know if it would be better to send you. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Bobby. We like your work.
I don't know if it'd be better to send you a message here by emailing, et cetera, et cetera. Before I start elaborating, this is entirely just me collecting my thoughts to deliver, et cetera. 90s kid and also a follower of yours for the last 2 years. The way you extrapolate, very kind words here. I just don't want to bore people with. He says, saw your Beast Wars video discussion a couple of days ago for the first time. Funny how it never popped on my feed before, considering he is a big fan of Beast Wars and my stuff. One of the closing statements from which I was left somewhat puzzled. Lessens what the franchise means, is what I said. Due to the fact that many of the exposition arguments were things that you can argue G1 did in some capacity before, say Marvel Comics, G1, Japanese continuity, or the toy line itself, we tend to be more lenient to forget, I don't know, that's not Optimus Prime, that's Jinrai, Pretender Shell, Scuba Diver, all the things of those natures that kind of change what Transformers is. And he says Beast Wars was only the first one to portray, although indirectly the sheer luck sometimes, these changes to a broader audience. But I'll say that it was bound to happen and better to have a cohesive idea for a gimmick. Maybe you changed some of your thoughts over years about this, and this is starting to shape like a rant at first glance. It would be nice to see you discussing it with the other dummies or perhaps on Nerd Rage. So I said, please send it to Nerd Rage. So look, what's not being understood is that, like, yes, Marvel G1 kind of does the same thing. Japanese continuity kind of does the same thing. But you can't find the average Transformer fan that knows anything about Marvel continuity or the Japanese continuity. Like, the average Transformer fan of my generation knows it from G1. It doesn't belittle what Beast Wars is. I think that Beast Wars is great. I think the impact that Beast Wars has on the brand is bad, not because of it, but because what it allowed Transformers to do as a brand. It's like in politics. where a president wants to pass a law, and you really like this president. You voted for this president. You believe in this president. But you might not want him to pass this law because you don't know who the president's going to be in 50 years that might want to use that law in a way that you don't believe in, don't support, don't. And what Beast Wars did is by reimagining the entire thing, then slipping G1 back into it. I always get somebody to remind me of that. I'm aware. It was never a consideration of theirs at first. It became a consideration after the fact. What Beast Wars did, and did well, was say, look, you can take this property and completely reimagine it and start over, which is fine. But then Armada did it, and then this one did it, and that one did it. And over time, it loses the strength of what the franchise actually means. Bay did it. Many have done it. What I like to see is when it's reimagined but stays true to the spirit. I think that the video games do that. The War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron. I think that IDW does that. I think
past tense.
Yes, did that too. Good point. So it's just what it made okay. It's how it made how comfortable it made the license holders with allowing people to reinterpret the material.
It opened up a multiverse of madness for the Transformers.
Correct. So no, my views have not changed. And that's also to also remain clear that I think Beast Wars, independently of Transformers on its own, story-wise, is fantastic. I think it looks fucking stupid. That's my subjective opinion, and I'm welcome to it. And I think that the impact that it had on the franchise made the franchise weaker.
It's like a Pandora's box thing.
Correct. I think if you look at Batman, Batman's strong as fuck because Batman's always been Batman.
And he's also got the Arctic Free suit.
That. Yes, there's been changes with him along the way. Sometimes he used guns, sometimes he didn't use guns. Sometimes he had this Robin, sometimes he had that Robin. Sometimes he's more of a brooding, dark character, and sometimes he's come along, chum, for a good old ride. He's changed, but the DNA hasn't. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing with Spider-Man. It's the same thing with anything that's like in a world view greater than Transformers. Mm-hmm. And I say that as a Transformers fan. When I tell people that I'm into Marvel or DC, I get a okay, yeah, that's cool. If I tell people I'm into Star Wars, like, oh, okay, that's cool. You always get the people that are like, oh, beat me aboard, Scotty, but like for the most part, it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. When I tell people I'm into Transformers, they are less understanding of it. And that's because of the choices that Transformers has made with their brand over the course of fucking 40 years.
That's fair.
That's
fair.
That makes sense.
All right. And with that, case closed. He did send that to me privately at first, but I was like, you know what? This is a good discussion. It's too much. Some of these questions that I get are sometimes they're too wordy to type out. I just don't have the time. Mm-hmm. But they make sense to do perhaps somewhere else. And it would be kind of redundant to do like a whole video of like on YouTube because like I've already done the discussion. I don't feel any differently. Sure. And to be fair, in the future, like if I feel differently about something, I'll redo it. And I'll be like, look, this is how I feel about something. Yeah. Shane G.
Oh boy.
Well. Hello, gentlemen. Before I get into the heavy shit, let me clear up a few things. It's not the damn pube guy, but funny enough, since everything played out, I haven't really heard from him. He's got his own set of problems going on. 2, I'll take an XL shirt, please, but of Power Rangers.
Never gonna happen.
But I need it green with badass lightning bolts right down the middle of it. 3, no, not Eskimo Brothers, because we asked him about that last week. But we got some stories in the big inside joke him and I have to do with our with one particular evening. Nice young couple, alcohol, and the night ending with the statement, "They're fucking me up, Mike. If anyone wants to know more, hit me up on the side." So I took everyone's thoughts and advice to heart on this.
No, this is
about a friendship.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
He's having a rocky friendship with someone who he's been friends with for a long time, and we discussed it last week. He said, for me, it's really tough to let go of people that I have as close friends, and I have been toiling about how to approach this for some time, so I did. Plain and simply told him that I needed to talk, so we did. For a very long time. We got out a lot of things that both of us had been holding on to for way too long. That's an emphasis on A. Also on that Kanye album, I love when he's like, if I hit you up with a WYD... don't hit me back with a hi. Hit me back with a hi with a bunch of eyes, or hey with a bunch of whys.
I love that.
It was refreshing and quite cathartic. I live in Louisiana, and he ended up moving to Tennessee. Well, in about 3 weeks, I'll be headed up there to go visit. So I would say things are moving in the right direction to get my brother back, and it feels good. Love to hear it. Will the dynamic ever be exactly the same? Probably not, but this conversation made me realize that I truly care about this dude and his well-being and not just holding up the good times. I appreciate you guys giving me some time and thought. And as always, go Power Rangers. So love to hear it. Loved it all worked out.
Well, wow. Nerd Rage fixed his problem.
Yeah. You're welcome. Hope you're on the Patreon.
What's your friendship worth to you?
That's right.
But yeah, love to hear it though. That's fantastic news. Especially being able to move past the issues. Like that's the key, is being able to move past the issues.
Yep.
So next one question. This is the algorithm of the night. Oh, this is the algorithm of the night. I messed up the flow at first. This is from our good friend Caleb. Sup, nerds? Going to go out on a limb here and say it's a widely known fact that everything we do online is tracked via browser cookies, internet history, apps, etc. Or at least I hope it's widely known, because spoiler alert, it super is. The reason for all the data collection is basically to get you to spend more money. I know, because that's the line of work I fell into. Anyways, being the technological... Yeah, he's in good company. Anyways, being the technological advanced adults we are, we've all probably seen ads pop up based on our interests and our preferred social media platform. However, have you ever had one of them backfire? Meaning you accidentally clicked on something somewhere, and now you're bombarded with crap you have no interest in. Apparently, I clicked on something Naruto-related, and now that's all Facebook thinks I'm interested in. I've never watched it, zero interest in it. All I know is this dude wears a belt buckle on his forehead, and people look like fucking idiots running around. I get probably 5 to 10 Naruto page suggestions on Facebook sessions, no matter how many times I tell them I'm not interested.
Click on something else.
Yeah.
Diabetic socks is always a winner.
Do a 180.
So I had it.
That happened to me recently. I can't remember what it was.
Anybody got one?
I'm trying to remember what it was.
My wife and I have it happen all the time. We'll be talking about something, and it'll pop up on the thing, and it'll be something that we're not even interested in.
So I've had that as well. One time we were having a discussion on Nerd Rage about license to conceal. What's it called? Concealed carry permit.
Carry permit. Yeah.
We're talking about concealed carry permit, and my point of view on it, me personally, is that, and I'm not looking to get into a debate with anyone. Don't send me a DM. Is that I would prefer open carry over concealed carry, just so I know you got it on you. It would make me feel more comfortable than having to think everybody in here, even this guy that looks like a complete fucking Looney Tune, might have a fucking weapon on him. And if you're acting like an ass in a fucking Starbucks line, and I feel the need to give you a wet willy just to prove a point, because I know your hands don't work like that, I can give you a wet willy without fear of being shot in my head. If I see the fucking pistol on you, then I'm like, you know what? Let him have his moment at the cashier stand.
I'm going to go to Dunkin'.
There you go.
Anyway, I say all that to say this. I'm not a big gun enthusiast. It's not my bag. It's not my personal bag. I think that people should have the right to have them. I don't give a fuck. I'm a fan of more rights in general. I had this conversation on Nerd Rage. I went and got on my Instagram feed. I got hit with fucking countless like holsters, all this shit that you can wear, shit for your socks to put a gun in. I'm like, motherfuckers putting guns in their socks out here in these streets. So like I've had that happen a bunch of times, but the one thing I clicked on, and I did it by accident, was I'm a fucking idiot. It was a pair of jeans. And I was like, man, this shit is getting out of control. Let me look at these motherfuckers. And I clicked on it. And ever since then, I've been getting these wild ass jean advertising. I'm good with like rips and holes and all that shit and all the different, like I'm good with all that shit. This was like camo sewn into denim, sewn into.
Yeah.
Are there studs in the pocket?
Yeah, I'm sure. All sorts of bedazzlement going on in the back. But like, I'm just like straps and fucking clips.
The clothing ones get you.
Yeah.
Clothing
ones.
Are,
like he was like, oh, that looks cool. And then you're like, oh, shit, I got to go through this.
So now just recently it was an ad for a jean. They're yellow, which I would never wear.
Not with your zebra Yeezys?
I would never wear. I'm not allowed. I operate in black, gray, white, dark blue sometimes.
Mm-hmm. I know the vibes.
I'm in there. I don't want to be. I'm not a big bright orange shirt wearer. You
didn't do a pink mink coat when Cameron was on?
No, I knew it was outside of my wheelhouse.
stayed in your lane.
Correct. I know. I'm
He
very comfortable.
He had the
there.
short coat, not the long one.
I'm in a HOV, and I know exactly how to operate in that lane.
Yeah, your computers was Putin.
No, my computers were definitely Putin.
Got you.
My computers were definitely Putin. But yeah, it's not my bag. But it was yellow, and they had like rims of like tassels, so it was like tassels, yellow tassels, more denim. Another stripe of tassels, more denim. I was like, I'm never wearing this shit ever in a million. I'm not even wearing anything that's closely related to this shit. I'll never wear a tassel. Not since I graduated high school.
Tassel assholes.
That was the last one. Forever.
I can't say the same thing. I would. As a Randy Savage tribute.
There you go.
That'd be the only time.
Any ones that you recall at all?
I can't think of anything specific. I know that I've like looked at a pair of, I think maybe boots. I looked at some boots one time on there, and it's like every fucking boot,
always
like,
clothing,
and it gets into some weird shit, and like why there's 7 zippers on what?
I ever tell
What's
you
that strap for?
the boot story that you got me in a lot of trouble for?
No.
Briefly got me in a lot of trouble. I needed leather for Jabba's throne.
And
I'd mentioned
I
it.
remember this now, but I didn't know. I never heard the back end of it, the trouble part.
So I was like, I was making Jabba's throne. I wanted to have a little blanket to like lay on or sit on, whatever it is that he's doing.
He's there.
Lounging.
Yeah.
And you were like, I think I might have you. And you did. You had a pair of Kennedy's old boots.
Yes.
And they were leather. So he brought them to my house, and I was going to cut them up.
It wasn't leather. It was
pleather,
yeah,
like
sure. It was something that looked like
leather-esque.
the kind of leather that a 8-year-old girl has.
Correct.
Yeah.
And brought them over to my house, and I was like, awesome. I think this is going to work perfect. And I laid them on my couch, and then my wife comes home, and is like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, all right.
All right.
Give me a minute. One thing I can assure you, it's not what it looks like. And then I went into,
I love when guys say
but
that.
it was like
Yeah.
it was like you could tell, like I'd never, like I wouldn't even think that she would, I would think in my head she wouldn't even, that wouldn't be her first, but
yeah.
I could feel it. I was like, oh, that's what it would feel like if I got, you know what I mean, like
Give me a
caught up in some
second.
shit. Yeah. All right, so next question is from Dr. Diecast. He says, I need your help to see if I'm a hypocrite.
Yes.
Yeah. I enjoyed the new Masters of the Universe reboot and found the plot overall intriguing. Have you watched that, Evan, by the way?
No.
Okay, it's quite good, I think, anyway.
I enjoyed
What's
it
it
as
on?
well.
What platform is it on?
Netflix.
Okay, I'll check that out.
Bobby's 7th favorite streaming service.
Moreover, I was surprised that many in our fandom were genuinely angry at Tila being the center of the story. At one point, I found myself viewing the stance as sexist and egocentric. However, I then quickly remembered my genuine disdain for Arya Stark being the one to kill the Night King. Spoilers. After all, Jon Snow was the prince who was promised 998th commander of the Night's Watch, the White Wolf, the King of the North. He was the love child, blah, 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 etc., etc. Furthermore, Bran the Broken was the three-eyed raven. Okay, so all of that shit. When Arya killed the Night King, I felt it was a forced storyline to keep the character relevant, to tie up loose ends. It took us off the destined path meant for Jon and Bran, etc. Does this make me a hypocrite? So, no. I don't think it makes you a hypocrite necessarily. I think that so here's the thing. I don't think people are if you're upset that Masters of the Universe doesn't star He-Man based on the trailer, and that's just, you felt like you were sold some magic beans or a wolf ticket.
Yeah.
Bait and switch.
I think you're 100% in the right. If you're upset because they gave it to, in the words of Jack Nicholson in '89 Batman, a woman!
Yeah.
You must be insane. Then perhaps you've got some underlying shit going on that you might need to think about. I don't think that it makes you, if you don't like the Masters of the Universe shit, or you don't like Star Wars, or you don't like Captain Marvel, or you don't like any of these things that have kind of been used as these political things, if you don't like them because you just don't like it, then cool. There's no issue with that. You're allowed to like and not like whatever the fuck. I love episode 7 and 8. It doesn't make me a pro-feminist. Mm-hmm. Somebody I know many people that did not like episode 8. It doesn't make them anti-female. I hate episode 9. Doesn't make me a woman hater. it does just because of X doesn't mean Y all the time. But there are those people that do feel that way and do act that way. And when you ask them, well, what's your issue with it? And they start to fucking find little itty bitty tidbit bullshit. Well, if her left toenail was really that long, it would be uncomfortable in those boots. So like, okay, well now you might be reaching for.
Stop trying to put logic in it. Illogical situation.
Right. Trying to justify, any and everything.
Yeah, I don't think that
To answer his question, dude. Listen, you saw 8, 20, or 6 or however long 20-minute episodes. You had known Arya Stark for a long fucking time by the time that happened, so your feelings are definitely going to be different. I don't think you're being hypocritical.
Yeah. He said like there's people that I know that like that don't like the episode 8 specifically because of Luke, right, and the portrayal of Luke. That person and myself have a distinctly different view of who that character is. And it's okay to have that debate, but it doesn't make that person anti-woman any more than it makes me pro-woman.
Right.
Correct. For that guy, you're definitely a hypocrite, just not for that.
Yeah.
And like I said, we said earlier, everyone's a hypocrite at some point.
Correct.
Just not for that.
Then he said, Sex in the City is a bit of a forbidden pleasure for most straight men. Many of us have watched it, don't admit it. So what was your exposure to it? For me, it was when he was helping a buddy move, and we had to wait for the cable guy to set up his account. And the only thing available to watch was Sex in the City DVD. Of course, the cable guy came in the window, and he had to watch too many episodes, et cetera, et cetera. So congrats, and thank you, Sanjay. Sanjay's a great dude. My wife wanted to watch it.
I've never watched it.
I've seen.
Oh, here we go.
I've seen all of the TV show, and I'm trying to think of how I came to watch it. I think I watched the DVDs at some point in time in my life. I don't recall right off, but
I've never.
I mean, I could take it or leave it. I didn't think it was groundbreaking or anything.
So my wife, we used to just watch the Sunday night lineup on HBO. So it usually started at, we would watch The Simpsons at 8.
The more things change.
Yeah, we would watch The Simpsons at 8. Whatever the bullshit show that came on after The Simpsons that you had to watch in order to get to Family Guy, at 8:30. And then we had to switch over to HBO at 9 and watch Sopranos or whatever. And then there would usually be like 2 half-hour shows or an hour show that came on after that. So one of those things with COVID over here.
Nah, it's water down the wrong pipe.
One of those things was Sex and the City. And she was super into it. And
do you remember an HBO show called John in Cincinnati?
Yes. I don't remember too much about it, but I remember
Butchie Yost. It was really fucking weird. But I remember, and the guy said, we had to poop. He's like, I have to go make. And his name was Butchie Yost. That's all I remember about it.
There was a show called In Treatment that used to come on.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but we watched all of it. And I
think Gabriel Byrne was in there.
Yeah. He was the therapist. I think Sex and the City is great. I think it's fucking great. I think the show is great. I think the movie was great. The second movie is dog shit. And that's it. I think it was in that golden era of HBO with Oz.
Yeah, and I think that's why I've never watched it. Because that was at a point in my life when I didn't have access to HBO. So I think I missed the boat on The Sopranos.
How did you overcome that obstacle?
I made more money.
Okay.
So this is from...
Was that the first thing you bought? Was HBO? When you got some money? When your money got right?
Yeah. I canceled Netflix and went to HBO Max.
There you go.
So this is from Iman. I wish that Joe was here for this, but he says, "What's up, fellow nerds? I don't know if you've heard about the recent drama concerning Netflix live-action Cowboy Bebop series. Have you heard any of this at all?"
I know that anytime there's a live-action anime, people don't like it.
Some pictures were released from the show, and everything was positively received except that of Faye Valentine's costume. The drama comes from the way the actress playing Faye responded.
You're gonna need Joe for this. I don't think either of us know enough about it.
The fans that don't like her look and the changes to the costume. We know that fans can be vocal about what they don't like. Something Keaton as Batman, Jackman as Wolverine, Affleck as Batman, Ledger as Joker, Gal Gadot, et cetera, et cetera. The difference with those is the actors didn't directly address the criticism and let their performance act as a response. Now, those actors represent the character for many. When did it become okay for creators to speak to fans this way? It seems like a more recent development because fans are, et cetera, et cetera.
Twitter, so they can defend themselves.
Yeah,
it's social media.
If you're getting hit over the head with a hammer for 4 hours, you're probably gonna put your arm up at some point.
Yeah, I think it's Instagram too. It's like the current social media platforms, and you're getting younger actors and actresses that came up with it as being more a part of their tool set. And now they're using it like they have used it their whole lives.
Most people respond to stuff on social media like within hours or days. And
Yeah.
like you said, that's just the generation. It's a generational thing.
Kevin Smith, I think, made one comment about and it was just grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tweeted it out, and that was the end of it for him. But he comes from our generation,
Right.
where it's like, I'm not going to sit here and fucking,
Yeah.
whereas these younger people that are coming up are like, this is how I communicate. This is as much a part of my communication as hugging my kids or whatever.
I think this generation are also more concerned with what people think about them and, all that stuff, as opposed to
Because it's been on display.
It's been on display.
Yep.
Our next question is from KFC. He just says, I switched shifts going from nights to days, so my life schedule has been all fucked up, but I've been wanting to ask you guys about the cool table. So for one, congratulations, because working nights fucking sucks.
Yeah. I only did it a very short time in my life, and no, not a fan.
He says, I don't have a podcast, but how can I join? In all seriousness, can you guys talk about the history, I guess, with the cool table, who started it, when, etc.? Keep up the great work. So...
There was an idea.
Yeah. So the cool table. So I used to. I had I always had a thing at the end of my. We'll start here. I always had a thing at the end of my videos that said, "Come be a nerd at the cool table," and it had information for.
I thought I came up with the cool table name.
So you did. You came up with the name for using it for the podcast.
Oh, okay. But I didn't realize you had it on there or didn't pay attention.
I always had it at the end of my videos. Come be a nerd at the cool table, which I actually got from a Joe Budden line where he said, shit'll always get fucked up when you invite the nerds to the cool table. And I always had it at the end of my videos, and then it had all my social media stuff. When I was doing Shattered Cast, you were doing you're still doing Enter the Realm, and I want to say that was it pretty much at first. And then other ones started kind of popping up that were like friends of all of ours. So it was like Toy Detox was like a big one.
Breaking the Mold came a show.
The
Beast Wars,
Beast Wars show. The Stasis Lock. Like all of these shows started popping up, and they were all from our like direct circle of friends. Adam and I started doing Nerd Rage. I was already doing it Shattercast, so like it was like another show. It was like all in this circle. So like when you want to have big, like when you want to market, when you want to like cross reference market, there's two ways to do it, in my opinion. Really, there's bottom down or top up. Like you have to do one way or the other. So the way that we chose was like, look, we're just gonna say that we're this one group. We're gonna constantly shout each other out and all this stuff, and hopefully it's the tide that raises all ships.
Right.
And I think it was kind of successful at first, like in terms of doing what it was supposed to do, and it started raising all the shows, and you would start hearing people say, like, I was listening to this, now I'm asking a question over here for just, little shit, and we would do little kind of gimmicky stuff where we would trade a member for a show for
or ask a question every week.
Yeah, stuff like that.
It honestly just got harder and harder to get people to engage in that kind of stuff.
And then shows started going by the wayside.
Yep.
Plastic Fanatics stopped with zero communication.
To this day, none of us have talked to him.
And that's not a knock on him.
It's not. He just
would love to know that he's okay.
James, if you're out there,
we'd
reach
love
out.
to know if you're okay.
8 weeks, of course.
Was meant to be seasonal, but then the second season never got off the ground. Toy Detox changed. It might still be.
I think they put out like 3 or 4 episodes last year.
The players changed and they became inconsistent, and then Beer Bolter stopped. So like so much like, and then you start and
then we added more that aren't on the table proper.
Correct, and it just became too much and too kind of sporadic and all over the place. So we still love everybody that's doing those shows.
And many others now,
and
as well.
many others, and that's another thing is like I mean, I'll speak for myself. I started feeling guilty not having people that I'm friends with that are now making like, and then they're like, well, how do we get involved in the cool table? It's like, man, it feels even weird to like answer that question. Well, you got to have 100 episodes and you got to have a listenership that's at least 2 people and whatever the case may be. So it just became too much to handle and like. So it was just like, so now I just say shout out to the cool table and hope that all of those people making those shows know that I'm talking to or about them.
Right.
Et cetera. And it gets like, if you think about Dante, right? Like, so Dante has a podcast about BJJ, jiu-jitsu, right? Oh. Not the other kind. Not the double barrel. And, but it's like, it's not a nerd conversation. It's not a nerd. So it doesn't really fit in the cool table dynamics. But now I'm in a position where it's like, oh, look, I came up with this guy. You're going to tell me he can't be in it?
Yeah.
So as opposed to even addressing that conversation or the fear that it could go that way, it's better to just not be as exclusive in that regard. It wasn't really working anyway, and just say, look, shout out to all the guys.
Yeah.
Is basically what it is. Free the guys, really.
Just a
There you
general
go.
name for everybody.
Yeah.
There you go.
Gotcha.
And then we just say, look, if you listen to this show and you make a podcast, as far as we're concerned, you're part of it too.
There you go.
But yes, when we were looking for a name for it, I remember we were here, and you were like, we should just call it the Cool Table.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, that's brilliant. And that's how the name came up. And then we had like a super fucked up table. Like we found like the most fucked up looking like table as like the logo at first. Like there's a lot to it, I guess. Facundo. Let's see. He says, "Hola, nerd amigos. Hope you're all doing well. I came across an article during the weekend, and besides laughing a lot, I thought it might be a good story for the weird news section." So he says, and also wanted to ask, what's your most memorable moment in your life regarding porn back in the day of no internet?
That's an easy one.
And then he says, my funniest anecdotes are all related to when we were kids, and they wouldn't let us buy those dirty magazines that you can buy only at a newsstand. So we would play rock, paper, scissors to see who would try to buy a dirty magazine. I keep seeing dirty magazines because it is. I keep saying dirty magazines because it's an English term that I always thought was so because magazines get dirty after people buy them. But as I grew up, I learned that they don't. Have a nice week. Thanks so much. Sorry for so little. No, please. So this article was that a judge, Michigan couple pay son porn collection.
Oh yeah, they threw out his porn collection and have to pay him like $30,000 or something.
Wow,
like something stupid like that.
Yeah, the judge says a Michigan couple must pay son $30,441 for throwing out his porn.
That's
collection.
exact. He had receipts.
Yeah, exactly. That's sentimental value.
I should get him as an accountant. I mean, I remember. I think I have a. God, I have one that I don't want to talk about. Fuck it. For the people. So look.
Fuck these people.
Anybody that knows me knows that I got a thing for vampires. I got a thing for them. It's my bag. Laura knows that a vampire in real life, if I ever encounter one, is an instant gimme. Like I get one if I can. I'm walking. I don't like being in a porno store because it's a weird environment. They all smell the same, like old Bibles, and like I like.
That's what they build the buddy booths out of.
It's a weird. It's fucking exactly. It's so strange because like there could be like 10 people in there. Not a single word will say a fucking single. Not a single word is exchanged between anybody. In there. You just act like you're in there in the store by yourself. So. There's this discounted section, which I guess was movies that were in the buddy booth, where there's no like paper, there's no like box for them. They're just loose, but they got the names up the side of them, right? And they're just sitting there. Now my mind is programmed to spot certain things, right? If I see Evan's Bits written in the Transformer font, my eye is going to go to it because because for 30 some years, my brain has been trying to isolate that font everywhere. Right. I see one that says vampires. $5. Bought and paid for. Throw that bitch in that brown paper bag or that black plastic bag. It was either going to be one or the other. Threw it in the car, went home. Got home, popped that puppy in the VCR. Start scanning. It wasn't called Vampires, Evan.
Oh, boy.
You want to know what it was called?
Absolutely.
Vamp Buyers. Vamp dash buy dash ers. Little hyphens, though, I'll have you know. So it was bisexual movie.
Oh, no, it all makes sense.
Nice.
Which, so here's the thing. It was not what I wanted. I still finished the job.
Damn it.
I'm just being honest. I still finished the job. And then after I exorcised the demon, had my moment of clarity, which is what happens when you exorcise the demon, I put that bitch right back in that brown paper bag and took it to my car so I could throw it away in some anonymous dumpster somewhere else. Now, you don't always come across an anonymous dumpster. And between the time that I had the opportunity to come across an anonymous dumpster, my brother came across that bag. And my man looked at me and said, "What the fuck is vampires?" And then I had to tell him the same story I just told y'all. And that's the weirdest porno movie that I have from my porn days.
You want to go ahead? I've got one.
I've got like nothing on that level. Mine is literally just looking through the channels on like whether it be Cinemax or something like that, and you're seeing the staticky screen and making out a tit here and there, and you're sitting
and you could usually get the first 6 minutes.
Yes,
yeah,
but it was like I said, it was what you know how the static would go.
And you can catch that part.
Go up scrolling, and you're like trying to catch something here and there, and it was more work than I'm thankful for the internet. So it was more
I think
work
so.
than
Yeah.
But that's what I only took because it was a constant thing.
Both of mine actually are wrestling related pornography.
Nice.
The first one was, I guess my parents thought that WWF Saturday night was every week because I'd always say like, well, it wouldn't be every week. So like, it seems like back then, like once a month there'd be a free weekend for Showtime and Cinemax and stuff, and there would be whatever the soft petting videos they have on there. I'd always say, I'm gonna stay up and watch wrestling tonight. Okay. Never thought anything about it. Fast forward years later, Wrestling Renaissance in 1998. Of course, if there's something popular in pop culture, what happens? They make a porno of it.
Absolutely.
So they made the nude world order.
Oh, okay.
Oh, of
And
course they did.
it was me and my friends, and all we knew about it, we knew Asia Carrera was in it. Remember Asia Carrera?
Wayne's World.
Not that. No, there's a porn girl named that. That's Tia Carrera. But I see how you get it confused. Yeah. So we would go like.
Look how God works.
I go in porno shops looking for this. Like, I'm looking for this movie. No, nah, we don't. We got this. Somehow we ended up getting another Tia Carrera movie called Patent Leather. And it's like everybody's wearing their patent leather get-ups. And the funniest thing is like dude's finishing up. He's going to shoot it all over. And she says, "Don't get it on my patent leather."
Roll credits.
And that's just always stuck with me because it was just so ridiculous. I never did find the movie, although I did just Google it, and it apparently it does exist. I didn't completely.
Nude World Order.
Nude World Order. It's got Jill. Remember Jill Kelly? It's got Jill Kelly in it. And,
that's funny.
Yeah. Anyways, that's my story.
Yeah. And that does it. We have one more that just came in, but I am going to respond to this gentleman because I think it's a really good conversation to have, but to just make it a little bit more concise for the sake of the show.
I got you.
But I'm going to get to that after this bit. So with that, thank you, Evan, for coming.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure. And I'm going to just add, it's been a year since Chadwick Boseman passed. So
yeah, almost to the day.
RIP to him, yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
big loss.
How do you think? Let me ask you that as a hardcore fan, you might say. How do you wish or hope that they move forward regarding the Black Panther franchise in Marvel?
As an official representative.
As an official representative.
I would love to see them use a multiverse as kind of an out. You don't
and bring in a new.
Yeah. Now, to be fair,
different.
I have to kind of all cause on say, well, I do pay attention to news and whatnot when it comes to shooting, and they're shooting Wakanda Forever right now. So I've been aware of some of the backstage stuff going on, and it looks like they may have used that movie as a way to kind of say that Namor, that's just speculation, Namor killed him off, whatever. I would love to see them use a multiverse as a way to bring the Black Panther character back if they don't pass on to Shuri.
Do you think that Shuri has earned it?
No.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Not,
I feel the
not
same
in
way.
the MCU. Not in the
Right.
MCU.
Right.
So I would love to. They could do an alternate version of Killmonger.
That's what I was going to say. What if it's Killmonger?
And like
what
they're
if
doing
he's
in the What If series.
Yeah.
I believe that's what they're going to do. So kind of import him. There's speculation that the What If series will be able to cross over with the live action at some point because they're planning a Captain Carter movie. So I feel like
Are they really?
I haven't heard that.
I'm sorry, spoilers.
Oh, that's fine.
But It's in the talks. It's in the talks.
Rumor report.
Rumor report. But I would love to see them we've opened up the multiverse. So now that's kind of your out. You can respect his legacy and all that stuff. And you can say that something happened to him with Namor or whatever. And then the multiverse Black Panther, hey, my world was destroyed. I'm come here to help you and prevent future atrocities. So something to that effect. I would love to see it be Killmonger, but if not, recast. I love Denzel Washington's son as in that role.
I don't know about
he's a great actor, and I think he would be able to fill the role.
Could the White Wolf be the Black Panther?
Absolutely not.
I'm just curious.
He could be a sidekick.
What about the Gray Panther?
The Gray Panther. Oh, damn! I was thinking of something else. I was getting it, but I couldn't get the actor out. But yeah, I feel like tragedies happen, so we do have to move on. And you got this fucking multiverse out there.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make everybody happy.
You're never gonna make everybody happy, but you know what?
There's no happy ending to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. So make the best of a bad situation if you can.
Yep.
Yeah. Fair. Shout out to the rest of the Cool Table. If you listen to this podcast and you make one, as far as I'm concerned, you're part of the Cool Table as well. Shout out to the rest of the people. Shout out to Joe, couldn't make it, of course. Shout out to Dante, who helps us with Facebook, and to Phil, who helps us with our notes and Twitter, and Raul, of course, who does our Instagram, and everybody else who helps behind the scenes.
And don't forget, if you have questions, you can send them to
nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com.
5-star reviews, please.
Please. And with that,
Candy Coochie, baby.
Tasty taints.
tight dick player. Candy.